Yeah.
Hey, great show, man. That was a lot of fun.
Dude, we had solid vibe. You always do a good job.
Someone taught me how to do it a long time ago. I remember messaging some guy going, help. And you're like, dude, chill out. We got this. Here's what you got to do. And you helped me through the way, man. I appreciate that. I'll never forget stuff like that.
Yeah, kind of crazy, right?
It is, man.
Who would have ever thought that the communities would look like this many years later?
You ever wonder what makes a great gamer? Great gaming is not only about cheering on our teammates, but also being there to pick us up when we're down.
Guardian down!
Have you ever played Destiny with a fellow Guardian and thought to yourself, I wonder what their life is like? Questions like these spark conversation, friendship, and community. We're a Destiny 2 podcast that focuses on 3 things: community, news around the gaming industry and Destiny 2, and thought-provoking topics in the game. We're Guardian Down Cast. Your stories, your community, your destiny. Hey, what's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 233 of Guardian Down Cast, the Destiny podcast. I'm your host, Todd, the Gator, and I'm a Day One Guardian who loves gaming and the Destiny franchise. In this episode, we ask, is the gaming industry as we know it changing? We have a very special friend of the show on tonight. He's one half of the Potato Thumbs podcast and a fellow Discord admin as well. It's Mr. FluffyFingersMD. How are you tonight, sir?
And I think we should clarify, he means special as in mentally, not like special as in like a prize human.
Here we go. Now it begins. I love it, man. Hey, you doing good, man? You having a good week?
Yeah, no, it was great. Today was great, man. Well, it's funny because like work was crazy. Like I really focused up and did a lot of crap today. But then I got to play private matches and had this weird itch to stream, so I dusted off the Twitch stream. It has been 5 years since my last stream.
Wow. There's a FluffyFingersMD streaming channel?
Yeah, I still got I'm still an affiliate. I haven't touched it in 5 years. They didn't take it away from me.
I'm going there right now. I'm going there right now. I gotta find this.
Yeah, so that was good, man. It was cool because I was just doing it to, like, I had no expectations, right? It was more just like, hey, I have a new PC. It can totally handle this. Mm-hmm. Like, there are nights where I'm fine streaming, and there are nights when I just want to hang out with friends. But,
nice.
For those nights like tonight where it's fun to stream, like, why not? And just private matches were a lot of fun. So you have the good energy from that, and then a bunch of people showed up and stream, which was cool. Like, it's surprising. So, I don't know, this community, man, it whatever happened earlier in your day, you start playing games with them, hanging out with people in our Discords, and it's just, you're just happy, you know?
I hear you, man. And by the way, I was already a follower long ago. And you mentioned you just were on the latest Destiny Help Desk podcast, which was 20 tips to get good in the Crucible. That was a great episode, man. I loved putting that one together. But you mentioned that you actually live stream in your Discord sometimes too, and that people will just pop in just to give you some tips or something, because you got a bunch of killers in your Discord, man, as far as PvP players.
It's very common in our Discord. We have a group of friends, and we were talking about this last night on the show. Mm-hmm. We have a group of friends, like a core group of friends that really came from the PvP leagues that we used to do in D1 and early D2 days, because we did quite a few seasons of PvP League. And a lot of really good friends came out of that. And so it's not uncommon that, like, just like here, just like any of the other Discords, where you have people gaming, but you also have friends that just drop in because they're working or they're doing something else, but they just want to hang out and talk. And so a lot of times someone will put up a game. I mean, it's very common that at least one person's streaming so that whoever's just there to hang out can watch. Yeah.
I noticed you have a lot more shoes behind you lately. Has that grown a bit? Oh, my God. I'm looking at the ones on your right side. Yeah, if I'm looking at your you got a lot of new shoes down there, man. I don't know. I don't recognize those ones on the bottom. Those black ones?
No, so the only new ones are that I have not run in. The only ones that don't have miles in them are those blue ones behind me.
Okay.
A lot of those behind me, they look new, but they have hundreds of miles on them.
Wow, man. That's an impressive collection, dude.
I like running.
I know I've said it before, but nothing that blows my collection away. That's for damn sure. By the way, fellow listeners, if you want to hear Mr. Fluffy Finger MD's story here, we had him all the way back on episode 14 labeled "The Doctor is In." So if you want to hear his original OG story when we first started podcasting many, many moons ago, that's the episode you want to go to. But he's also been on episode 75, 125, and 152, and he was just on our live show on episode 230. It's all about community.
On a couple of those bigger shows too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have. Yeah. I just went to our website and I searched FluffyFingersMD, and boom, it threw all the episodes, even the ones you weren't, weren't solo on, you were part of. And if it was in the description of the episode, then it showed up. But you've always been on our big mega casts. Those are always fun. We got to do another one of those before Final Shape comes out. I miss all those guys. It was such fun doing that. But, because this is our first show of the new year, 2024, which I've already crossed out today. I was working today. I already crossed out 2023 several times and had to write a 24 over it.
Were you writing checks?
No, I was filling out some reports. I put little reports I fill out and I date it and time it and everything, so that way people know when I'm at their house.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And I've already crossed out a bunch of 23s into 24s. But since this is our first episode of the new year, Fluffy and I are going to catch up, talk about our week in Destiny. Our community, oddly enough, has some questions for him as well, so we're going to get into those as we go along in the episode today. And since Bungie doesn't really have any TWAB this week, there's been something I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, in fact, but I really never had the time to bring it up. So with Mr. Fluffy Fingers MD, why do you have to have such a long gamer tag? With his, no, just kidding. With his input, we're going to discuss a brand new topic of the week, a little off center than what you're used to hearing from us. And before we go, we're going to add some music to our Guardian Downcast show playlist, award-winning, by the way. It's on Apple Music and Spotify. The links will be down in our descriptions down below. And at the end of the show, before we go, we have two special voicemails from our Space Lawyer Laz and Hammer Crusher 32 that you won't want to miss. Finally, I have a special announcement at the end of the show, but I need your help. I need your feedback and let me know what you guys think of this. So, without further ado, let's roll. Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. There are several ways you can contact us. First, you can find us on X at Guardian_D_cast, where we also post our newly released episodes every week. Or you can find us on Instagram at Guardian_Down_cast and see what pics our podcast guests want to share with you guys. We have a brand new website. Just visit GuardianDownCast.com, where you'll find all of our contact info, leave us a voicemail, give our show a rating and review, search for any episodes, or even give back to our community. Also, don't forget to sign up for future updates to the show, where we'll also have some random drawings throughout the year, and you may win a gift card or even some GDC merch. You can also follow our Guardian Downcast shows song playlist on Spotify and Apple Music. We post those links in our show description every week, so you can follow along with us. And finally, you can send us an email at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. So check us out, and later, Guardian. Well, Mr. Fluffy Fingers MD. Hey, first, before we get started, how was your holiday, man? How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? I know you went out of town a little bit.
Yeah, it happened. We trade off going to the in-laws every other Christmas. So we celebrated with my family early. It was really cool, actually. Instead of just having everyone come over and open presents, my wife and I treated my side of the family to dinner. There's a really nice restaurant by us, and they do barbecue and Thai food and Chinese food, and they do it really, really well. There's a big Hmong community in Minnesota, and so they do a lot of like Hmong spice and stuff like that, and it's absolutely amazing. I love them. They're great people, and it's, a good little family restaurant. So we went there, had food. It was excellent. And then a couple family members were sick, so we're catching up with them actually tomorrow. Okay. But then we went out to St. Louis, where my wife is from. She grew up in the city, so that was fun. Got to hang out with family. It was supposed to be raining the whole time I was there, and it ended up being like 60 degrees, and it was cloudy. But for someone who's a nerd about running like me, I got to just go outside in shorts and a t-shirt and run around the city, and that was cool. It's a different scenery, so like I get to run in like a different urban area. So I had to work, but my family all had it off. So they stayed in St. Louis, and I drove the dogs back, and I worked the rest of the week, and they stayed there, and they flew back New Year's Eve day.
Okay. So
we celebrated New Year's together. But it was cool. Like, while I was home, I played a lot of video games, played a lot of Call of Duty, played a lot of Destiny. My boss was super cool. He said, take time to yourself between emails. Wink, wink. Mm-hmm. So it was a pretty low-key week, so I really appreciate that.
Did you, now what are you playing in Call of Duty? Are you playing just the multiplayer, or are you playing zombies?
Dude, so I was all in on the multiplayer. Like, I really, really was loving the multiplayer. And Rob took me into a zombies with his brother. Rob, my co-host, Admiral Nips, that you guys know in the Discord. And I have fallen in love with zombies.
And his brother's Brisbear, right?
His brother's Brisbear. It is so much fun. It is, like, I really prefer with the team. I've done a couple solo drops, and they're fine, but you can only do so much with only one person. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter how good your guns are, it's hard to, you can do it, but it's not fun. But with the team, like, it's great. And there's a bug right now, so people can kind of dupe weapons like they used to in Borderlands. Oh. So, like, I randomly dropped in on New Year's Day, and if you leave with $100,000, you're doing pretty good in zombies. And some dude dropped like $150,000 in the first minute of the game and at my feet, and all like purple weapons. And I'm like,
nice.
Okay. And he just took off. And I'm like, okay. And then the next game, I got 470,000 from a dude and a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is okay. It's broken. I get it.
Wow.
So
that's nuts. Yeah. I actually got the actual physical disc for PS5 for Modern Warfare 3. So,
oh, sweet.
Is it 3?
I
can't keep track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to play zombies, man.
Yeah.
Or multiplayer. They're dude, it's so funny because I really like playing a different PvP game. And I think that this applies to anything, whether you're playing Finals or Overwatch or anything.
Yeah.
I love Destiny PvP, but playing a different game of PvP changes your perspective.
I see that.
Changes how you play. So, like, playing Call of Duty actually changed how I approach things in Destiny. And this is a game that I have thousands of hours in, with Crucible. So I really appreciate that. And I really love how snipers feel in Call of Duty. I feel like they're cheating.
There's no flinch?
Dude, sniping in Destiny is like 1,000,000 times harder than sniping in Call of Duty.
I'm going to love it then. That's what I love sniping, man, but the flinch is so bad in Destiny right now.
Well, it's aimed for quick scoping though. It's definitely not a like.
Gotcha.
You can always camp. Call of Duty has campers galore, and if you play the game how you want to play it, dude, you want to go into hardcore and sit in a corner. That's your thing. You bought the game, your time. There'll always be that. But I mean, just from my perspective, running and gunning with the sniper is very viable.
Fast quick scoper. Okay, I didn't know you were a quick scoper. Good to know. I used to cuss them out because I hated getting one shot by those things. Oh my god! Especially the intervention. That was my quick scoping sniper rifle of choice back in Modern Warfare 2. But I got the game. I just got it. In fact, I just finally yesterday. We had some crappy weather outside, and in my business, if the weather's too inclement, I just can't work in it. So I was cleaning out all my Christmas stuff. You kind of push it to the side and say, all right, I'll start unloading this later. And found the disc. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I got this. So yeah, I'll install that tonight, and I'll definitely be jumping on to do something. Now, have you played Warzone, the extraction game, or the battle royale? I guess it is, right?
Yes, I have played Warzone.
Okay. Now is the new Modern Warfare, does it have Warfare yet, or is it waiting for it to come out?
Yeah, Yeah, so I've been playing Modern Warfare 3.
Okay.
So that's the multiplayer and the zombies.
Right.
Warzone is out and it's free.
Okay.
Anyone can play it. You don't even need Modern Warfare to play
okay.
it.
I didn't know that.
I am not a BR guy. I'm an arena shooter.
Yeah, me too.
That's just my thing. So I will only play BRs if someone asks me to. So
yeah, I played Apex Legends with some friends who just said, "Come on, try it out." And I went to the range. I got familiar with the weapons and stuff. It's got a nice range. Real nice practice area, Apex does.
Yeah.
But it was just running from place to place, and there was just no one around. And, of course, there's no radar or anything, so people could just be hiding in a building somewhere, and you go in to grab a gun or something, and they're in the corner, and they shoot you when you open a door or something. It's like, that's the thing I just love about Destiny is there's no bullshit. They encourage a fight. We're all out in the open. Everybody knows where everybody is. But I mean, I say that, but I did have a camping shotgunner a couple times playing Iron Banner this week. It just pissed me off. I'd kick him. I was pissed at myself because I should have known he was freaking just crouching behind the door. But,
most people though, don't you think in Destiny, I feel like if they crouch behind the door, it's very limited. Like I feel like they might crouch and wait for you and then they'll move or get shot, right?
The good players will do that.
Yeah. Call of Duty, they will sit and stay there until they get shot in that spot. It is insane.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a bigger map, too.
But that's the thing, though. Because there's a kill cam in Call of Duty. So if you shoot someone in the back and they ran through a door, you better get up and move to another spot. My son was always good at this. He would shoot somebody in the back and they would come back for a revenge kill. And he would be just 5 or 6 steps in a different corner and shoot him again. He might have done that to me a few times, too. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. There's a kill cam in Call of Duty, so you want to make sure you move anyway. But but what else you been doing, man? What else you been doing this week?
It's funny we talked about BRs. My youngest daughter is in 2nd grade.
Okay.
And I do my best to be cool gaming dad. So they had access to an Xbox and they have my old gaming PC and they have their Switches and tablets and stuff like that. And we're pretty open on games that they can get. Like, I always look at them or whatever. But my youngest was like, I want to get Fortnite. My friends are playing Fortnite. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, I want it on the Switch. And I'm like, how about the Xbox? Or how about the PC? Like, do you really want to play a shooter on the Switch? I don't think you do. She's like, no, I do. I'm like, okay. Wow. It's you, man. Like, it's your gaming system, your experience. So if that's what you really want, then we can do that. No problem. Right. And so she got it and she played a little bit, but not really. And then we started playing Lego Fortnite together as a family. And so I can jump on my PC and the 2 kids can be on their Switch and that's basically like Minecraft.
Right. Pixel stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So we did that and that was fun. And then the other day, was it 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago, my daughter, only one of my daughters, a 2nd grader, was in my office and she's like, do you want to play Fortnite? I'm like, you mean Lego Fortnite? And she's like, no, real Fortnite. I'm like, sure, that's what you want to do. Like, yeah. And we went into build and just got destroyed. I pulled out, I didn't take the time to look at any of the key mappings or anything. So I pulled out shit to build and then I couldn't get back to my gun. And I just died right away. And I was like, okay. I was like, how about no build? And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
And we went into no build and I just started mopping people up.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, Dad's kind of good at Fortnite.
Nice.
I was not expecting that. So our first game, we took 3rd place.
Wow. Nice.
And then I played a couple more games with her, dude. And she hasn't had anyone to teach her how to PvP, right?
Right.
So she was really big in running away.
Right.
I'm like, babe, you're going to have to fight them. I'm like, you're never going to win a game or match if you don't fight them. Right. So you do just have to fight them. There are times to run away, but most of the time you got to figure out how to fight them.
Okay.
And so I started working with her and I'm like, okay, you got to look for cover. I'm like, you got to use cover to your advantage. I'm like, and then we also worked on strafing a little while she was shooting.
Nice.
And so we had this conversation, right? And we're playing and we had miscommunication. So we dropped on 2 different spots on the map and I dropped in with 10 people and I killed 6 of them, but they eventually got me. And so she was on her own. So I'm watching her and she starts taking the advice. And I watched her like take out like 4 people, dude. She's strafing a little bit, and like there was someone coming and she didn't see them. And of course, I'm watching her, so I'm like, someone's coming on your left, like back up to that rock that you just passed. And she backs up to cover and like shoots them from cover. And I was just like, man, that's cool. So she was inspired, right?
You were like a proud papa, man, going, oh my God, she's actually strafing and shooting like I told her.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had fun. We ran a couple games, and they had to go to bed. So she's been playing every morning, the last 2 mornings since then by herself, right? She's gotten second place twice.
Dude,
in between eating breakfast and waiting for the bus.
I love it. You can have a little PvP champ there, man.
I know, dude. She's going to carry me a lighthouse.
I was going to tell you, man, she'll probably surpass us pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Kids learn so fast, man.
Yeah.
And they're just their reflexes, their eye-hand coordination is so much more advanced. Yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah.
What else? I did vault cleaning.
What?
So I don't know how many people know this. I'm a moderator in Lego LaFlash's Discord.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty active in his Discord too. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about cleaning vaults, and they inspired me. So I had high 590s, and most of my characters have like only 1 row free. Right. Like I'm kind of OCD, so I tend to keep my weapons like 2 stacks of weapons and 1 free row on the bottom.
Yep.
And I got all the way down to 490. So I deleted like over 100 things.
490? Oh man.
Yeah, dude. Yep. I got help from the Discord. They gave me some dim commands to use.
Okay.
To weed out armor that I didn't have in builds already.
Okay. Now, were you sharing your screen where people can like?
No, I was working, so I was just kind of doing it in between running jobs and emails.
I got you.
But yeah, it was great because like Dim has spreadsheets that you can pull out of your inventory.
Okay.
And then they have all these commands that people probably don't know, where it will do things like tell you, do you use this in a build anywhere?
Right.
You know, and it's like, okay, I got 1,600 armor. That's a good roll, but it's still 1,600 and it's not in a single build. So let's toss it.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, Lego LaFlash. I just watched his video on the latest. Give me a second. I'm trying to find it. As I was farming it, I finally got the roll I wanted.
Fusion rifle with unlimited ammo?
It's the pressurized precision with Discord and was it reserves? I was farming it yesterday. I'm looking for it. I'm freaking out here because I can't find it in Dim. All I can figure is it might be in my vault. I mean, it might be in my postmaster because I was farming a bunch of them. But I did finally get a Discord. Now, I didn't get the recharge masterwork, but that's not a big deal for me. As long as I know the timing of when to... I'm trying to get back into fusion rifles, and I've been watching Lego LaFlash's videos, and I've been getting a little inspired. And I'm starting to get back into it. And I had I've been playing a lot of Iron Banner this week with the community. Warcry, Priceless, Princess, King Tut, I think was in there. I think basically NaCl. I'm trying to think of everyone that was in there. There were several other people that bounced in and out, and I mean, for the most part, I've been having a decent time. Because you know what I did, Fluffy?
What'd you do?
And you can ask people last night. I even repeated this. I said, I was listening back to my 20 tips to get good in the Crucible episode. We were talking about just knowing that 6s are crazy. They're just chaos. Yeah. And I spawned in one time and 4 people spawned in behind me from the enemy team. I'm like, Fluffy told me. He told me it was chaos, and there it is. So I actually had a bunch of Ingrams and I farmed it. I actually did some focusing, which I don't normally do that kind of stuff, but I did get high impact reserves, Discord, projection fuse, small bore. Those are pretty decent, but I had a stability masterwork. So I figured, you know what? That's close enough. I still got more. I'm going to play a bunch more, Iron Banner this weekend, in fact, because my wife's going shopping with my daughter tomorrow. So I'm like, perfect. I'm going to play some Iron Banner because, I don't know, man. I like Eruption. It's a good fast paced style, but what's nice about it is you don't have to go to a point. I like Control. Don't get me wrong. I like playing Iron Banner Control just because that's what I've always played. But these, Tribute and, these special game types that they've been throwing out, and I even mentioned it last week on our top 10 episode, I said, I have to mention one negative, and I do not like these new game modes, Fortress and Tribute. Tribute lasted one day, so apparently I was not alone there, but I just don't like these weird stuff where you have to go deposit stuff in a place or go to a place to dominate an area. It can just gets really super chaotic. And I know with Iron Banner, that's what Bungie wants. That's why they have this, you capture all the zones. All of a sudden it's the hunt's on, they want everyone to, they're encouraging everyone to flip the spawns a million times. I hate that, but I digress. I just chilled out for the most part. I was still salty because it got into the witching hour, which is around 12 to 1 a.m. Eastern. The game just goes sweaty. They just get sweaty and there's just not much you can do.
I think too, man, Iron Banner is just weird. Iron Banner got me tilted a couple times already this week. And then we played a couple games of Iron Banner before doing before doing private matches tonight.
Right.
And I was going to go into private matches sniping, and it made me so, I guess, to the point I just wasn't having fun playing PvP.
Yeah. I
actually put the sniper away. I went into the night going, I just want to try guns that I'm not good with, or not good with, but that I don't normally use.
Right.
Because I can snipe when I, after I have some games in, but Iron Banner just was rubbing me the wrong way. So I switched up weapons, and then as soon as I did, I felt a lot better.
See,
so I get that.
I always stack the odds against me too. I tried sniping for a couple of games, and just people were just so aggressive. It was just hard for me to hold down an area for very long to try to get a snipe in.
Dude, in sixes,
it's a moving
sniping's. You have to quick scope in sixes.
Yep.
That's the only way that you can snipe. You got to treat it like a pulse rifle or something like that, and you just got to wait. My problem is I don't wait until I'm on the head. That's where the practice comes in. I drag scope. Yeah, I do too. But I drag it with my mouse, but I don't get that headshot down until I have 5 or 10 games in me. Right? If I'm not playing it all the time, because I'm a fusion main.
Yeah, you got to get the muscle memory down. You got to get your mind and you got to get it synced up. Same with me, man. I can't snipe right off the bat. I tell you what I love doing is, because they're forcing me to play on solo or strand builds, which I don't have blink, which is a big disadvantage for me, as I'm used to blinking over people, especially on console, and they have no clue where I'm at. And it's just such an advantage. But I've been having to fluff and float, and I played my Titan last night. I played a Strand Titan, and I don't even have everything unlocked on it. I mean, I don't have Banner of War. I do have Banner of War, but I didn't use it. I used something else that someone else had recommended, and I didn't have any fragments that would actually help me in PvP. I didn't care. I just threw it all on and said, let's roll. And I did better than I thought. I was cussing it out of the first couple of games, and then by the 4th or 5th game, I was like, all right, Titans aren't really all that bad, but I'm like you, man. I like trying everything. I'm gonna try my Strand Hunter probably this weekend with the hopefully I have the Dodge I'm sure it's online. Yeah, that build exactly. I put that build together with the decoy. That seems like a really potent build. So I'm gonna try that out this week. Even though I'm a Warlock main, I'm still gonna try it. But I tell you what, I did do this last week, Fluffy, and I don't even know if I want to admit this, but I know people are going to find out anyway, but I participated in my first Blueberry Lounge drunk raid. It was last Saturday. It was right after our show with Native Raider. And let's just say things I might have done that I might have been not too proud of. But I tell you what, though, all that being said, I had a lot of fun. It was a laugh fest. It really was. I was playing with Spear, Native Raider, Kingsley Mack was in there, Kato was in there, Mr. Shirtless himself, Coderson and Wad and Sweaty Spooks were kind of overseeing everything. And, here's where the rule, this is where the rules going in, cause I had to copy and paste this cause I couldn't remember the rules. I got so freaking hammered. Whenever a fire team member is downed, you got to take a shot. This rule kind of encourages people to communicate and don't go down. Every time the raid boss enters a new phase, you have to raise your glass for a toast and drink. Each time a player activates their super ability, you got to take a sip. When a player receives a particularly good piece of loot, an exotic, raid weapon, etc., everyone has to take a drink. If your fire team completes a challenging encounter or achieves a raid challenge, everyone takes a collective chug. But here's the thing. I think Spear was streaming it that night. Sweaty, I think, was too. But Spear was like, who wants to join my chat? and participate in the drink game. And I'm like, I'm already here, man. Yeah, I'll do it. Why not? I'll do it. Well, I didn't understand that they had frickin' drink tokens and stuff they can turn in. I drank 14 swigs and I had Dragon's Milk beer. Stuff was 11% APV. It was some strong beer, man. Strongest beer I've ever drank. And I'm not a drinker, man. I got alcohol poisoning really bad when I was going to college, so I've always kind of avoided drinking too much. I know my limits. And dude, this was 4 beers. 4 beers. I mean, that's easy. I drink that in no time playing poker. But I don't know I don't know what it was in this Dragon's Milk, but it kicked my ass, man. Yeah. I mean, by the time we got to the War Priest, I was already done. If I started at 100%, I was at 50% by the time we got to War Priest. We did King's Fall raid, by the way. That was the raid. And then every encounter, I didn't know this either. For every encounter, 2 people in the party have to pick a rule for drinking as well. And I was like,
oh, that's great.
So by the time we got to the last, we did get to the last boss. We did get to Oryx, but we were so sloshed we couldn't stay alive long enough to make it happen. So we left it there. But I stayed in the entire time. Spear left early. He backed out. I don't think anybody else backed out. But by the end of the night, man, I was freaking shirtless, showing off my guns, and I was like, oh, what the hell was I thinking? And Sweaty, of course, took screenshots of everything and made sure he posted it in the chat. And I'm like, what the hell? But
I heard about the shirtless stuff, man. Apparently Kato is always shirtless, though. I guess
they call him Mr. Nipples or something. I don't know.
I did not know this. I've gamed with this man for years,
Me
and
too.
I learned about this tonight.
He's always a very serious player,
Yeah, but he's good people. But yeah,
he's a good guy. Yeah.
I'm gonna join one of these raids because I was listening to you guys talk about it.
Don't pregame.
And then I watched the edit. I didn't watch the edit that you were in, but I watched the previous one, and it was stressful to watch. I was like, holy shit! Like this took you 7 hours or whatever it took.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the one that you were in.
No, it wasn't that one because I heard about that one. This was their second one they've done.
Yeah, okay, and, so maybe that was their first one.
Yeah, this was the second one they did, and I think we took maybe 3.5, 4 hours maybe, and then we all finally called it. Yeah. It
was like I skimmed it like I did because it was still like a 2-hour video. So I just, I had a little bit of time and I was like, I just want to check out pieces of this video. And I was watching it. I'm like, man, I'm kind of stressed out watching this happen. Like, this is crazy. I'm like, I need to participate in this next time, but I don't know if I'm taking my clothes off while I'm doing it.
Man, I tell you, I'll just warn you, don't pregame. Make sure you go plenty hydrated. I did everything. Native was so cool. He said, dude, do not pregame and start drinking water like right now. Just get fully hydrated. And I did. I drank a ton of water. I had a nice big meal. My belly was full. I was good to go. I was right there I had pretzels soaking up alcohol. I had everything prepared, and it was rare form for me because I'm never that way. The last time I was that drunk is when I was doing a co-stream with, I think it was Elmer Fudd Games. I was doing something. I think it was one of the trivia games with him or something. I don't remember what happened on that, but I didn't even know Sweaty makes videos of these raids. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's
now I'm stressing.
Fudd has taken a few members of the community out in the best way possible.
He does. He's a good guy though. I drink for him, man. No worries at all. On our top 10 episode last week, if you didn't catch it, that was episode 232 with Native Raider. We listed our top 10 things, and not to put you on the spot here, but we did talk about some of the things we actually enjoyed in 2023 with Destiny. And I was just curious if you had a few you wanted to throw out there, since you weren't with us last week. And this is just think of Lightfall forward.
So I think, first and foremost, I think they've done a good job with the meta in the way that, it does change a little bit. I would be okay even if it changed a little bit more drastically season to season, but there is a nice flow to it. But at the same time, like, a lot of things are viable. And I think that's great. It's not just one weapon. There'll always be weapons that are strong. And we talked about that before. Mm-hmm. But I think that's in a good place. I think that communication has been good. And I think that, it sucks because I think there's a lot of good, honestly, Like, there really is a lot of good in the last year, but unfortunately it gets overshadowed just by corporate greed. You know, you guys touched on it, but like that whole, like, you know, on Steam, Destiny 2 is a platinum seller and one of the best selling games, and like they made revenue, but it's the corporate culture of America, and you know, the always pushing profits, pushing more for shareholders, and inflating prices to make a sale. Like that, it sucks that overshadowed the good that's happened, and it sucks that good people lost their jobs because of stupid people in management and just being greedy. Sure. With that being said, I think while those people were there, and I think that the people that are still there, they've done a lot of good things. Okay. And there's seasons that I didn't really get into. Like, I know you like Season of the Deep. I think I played like 3 weeks of that story, and then it was PvP the rest of the season. PvP and raids and dungeons. That's all I did.
Sure.
But that's me. Like, I'm not, you know, even this season with this story, I have done the exotic mission, and I've done the exotic mission on Legend. So that's how far I am in the story. I'm probably a couple weeks behind now. But, you know, that's further than I got in the previous seasons of the other ones. But honestly, man, like, I've been enjoying the dungeons. I've been enjoying the raids. You know, I liked Ron. I liked Vogue. You know, Crota's fine. Like, I have a good time with friends when I go in it, but I always want new, you know. So.
Good.
Yeah, well, I don't have complaints, man.
I mean, there's a lot of positive things, like I said, that Destiny and Bungie did do in 2023, and so it's unfortunate. Just a few things can really overshadow, like you just mentioned. Yeah, I think you nailed it, man. I think whoever's doing Sandbox right now in the Crucible, I think is doing a great job. In fact, the one playing mode that it's kind of split the community, the new checkmate. They've actually been fine-tuning the weapons in that as well. I think then you still have a ways to go on that, because there's some weapons that still are very weak compared to hand cannons and bows. Pulse rifles are coming. They're coming around. I've had some success with pulse rifles. And even a couple select high-impact auto rifles I've had some success with, but I just love that it's a weapon-based game, and abilities and stuff are secondary. And I just love that part. And the next time they have a Checkmate Trials, I'm going to try to solo Lighthouse it. That's my goal this going into this year. So next time they have a Checkmate Trials, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to play however many matches I have to and see if I can make it. We'll have to just see, I guess. But I
think it's good to have different game modes for people.
Yep.
Like it really is, because I like traditional threes. You know, I want less people on the map. I want more control in my gunfights. I want to know where they're coming from. I want callouts to matter. And I like abilities. Like, I think that there's fun in using builds and your abilities for movement, for deception, for killing, for staying alive, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's very important to also provide things like Checkmate, because although it's not my cup of tea, it's fun for other people, and it brings other people into Crucible, and I think that that's just as important. You know, you look at, like, we talked about Call of Duty earlier in the show. Right. You look at Call of Duty, and there's like constantly like 8 to 12 different game modes going, and they're vastly different. Like, yeah, some are the same, you know, deathmatch versus like hardcore, but then there's things like Ground War, where it's just you know, Ground War is like basically Battlefield without destructible buildings. Yeah, and so, like, I think that it's good. Like, even, you know, it's cool that they're doing things. And some things are hits, like Checkmate for you, and some things are not, like every Iron Banner mode for the past year and a half.
Tell us how you feel. I get you.
You know what's really cool, man? It's really cool erupting like 5 times in a game because you're on a 5-kill streak consistently, and then you see the timer at 3 seconds. And yeah, that's
so
on
many
me.
times.
Totally on me. But it really, like, if I'm doing well, like if I have a very high KD in the game, I'm just like randomly like, 3 seconds, and they're on the other side of the map now. Like, okay, cool.
Yep. And hey, at least at the scoreboard you can see your KD now. It's not how many turns did you kill, Fluffy? Yeah. How many turns? No. Come on now.
Dude, you know, here's the thing. No matter what, my philosophy is still let's keep a couple core game modes around. Keep experimenting. Yeah. Like, you know what? I'd much rather have you have 5 flops and 1 hit than not try anything. So, you know, keep giving us stuff and something's going to click, right?
Hey Guardians, would you like to send a question for the show to us? There are 4 ways to do it. First, you can join our Discord server at discord.gg/GuardianDownCast. There's also a join link in our show notes down below. We have Guardians from all walks of life and all over the world, from new lights to day one players to hardcore gamers. There's also a channel labeled Podcast Questions where you can type in your question for the show. So come hang out with us. You can also email us with your question at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or we also occasionally post about our upcoming show and guest, and you can respond there with your question at Guardian_D_cast is our X handle. Finally, you can send us a voicemail with your question at guardiandowncast.com, and we might play it on the podcast. Think of it as talking with us right on the show. Thanks for listening, and later, Guardian. All right, brother, before we go, we got some questions for you. And boy, man, our community loves you, man. I couldn't get this many questions if I tried. I'm going to start out with our first one here. This is from Mr. Danger Powers 939. Question for Fluffy Hauser MD. The last time I was a guest on GDC, Gator mentioned he was incredibly jealous of your hair. Well, I just got a haircut, so I don't have a lot of it left. On a scale of 1 to 10, how jealous do you think he is right now? I don't pre-read these.
He's jealous. I think he's slightly turned on, honestly.
Oh, come on now. Dude, we met the last time at IRL in near Daytona or New Smyrna Beach, like it was. I was like, dude, it's like glistening in the wind. It's like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, I'm more jealous of your sleeve than your hair. I love your and ironically, Mr. Monkey had a question about that. He goes, question for MD. The MD, I hear you have some really cool tattoos. What was your favorite, and do you plan to get any more?
Sure. I just have 2, but they're larger. Mm-hmm. My first one is on my right forearm, and it's on the inside of my forearm. So, like, unless you see the inside of my arm, it just looks like a regular arm. It's graffiti, my favorite style of art. It says my MC name. A lot of people don't know this, but I did music for a decade and a half.
Right.
Worked with a 5-time Grammy winner for a while. He did an album for me. So it was my passion at the time, music. And then it's inside the graffiti is a picture, and it's of an island. And it's an island that I could see from my grandparents' cabin. So it's like a favorite memory, favorite style of art, and my hobby at the time.
Wow. I did not know that part. Thanks, Mr.
Yeah,
Monkey.
and then on my left arm, I have a full sleeve, and it goes from my wrist all the way up to above my shoulder and on my armpit and everything. And that's my 2 puppies. They're not with us anymore,
right?
But it was the first 2 puppies that my wife and I owned. And so my forearm, the lower forearm, is my female puppy, Peiwei, and she's a samurai warrior. So she's standing there. She has like a sword, samurai hat on, and then in the background there's kind of like on the forearm there's some of the toys that she slayed.
Nice.
And so like so it's kind of cool. It has some of her toys and stuff, and then it's kind of like a more traditional Japanese cartoony style art. And then on my elbow and my dogs are both Boston Terriers, is a Boston Terrier that's gold that says both of their names. And then the upper part of my arm is a boy dog, Togo, and he's a drunken monk. So he's passed out on a tree. He's got his wine jug, like the martial arts wine jug. Yeah. And there's like a pagoda behind him and a cherry blossom tree and all that. And he was much more of the not really wise old soul, lazy old soul, but he was a good boy. He is the best boy. Yeah. So it's my 2 dogs, and they're like children, right? When you have them. So both my tattoos are like important points in my life.
And it's hard to, it's hard to visualize this over audio, but when you see it in person, it's glorious. Let me just tell you. He does have a follow-up. He says, question for the Fluffy. Help, I'm having a medical emergency. Who's the better doctor, you or Dre?
Oh, definitely Dre.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, he has songs about it, and I'm just a fake doctor online.
Okay. Sith Daddy Fresh had one for you here. Question for Fluffy. Why didn't you kill that spider in the dealership? You have to give us some context here. Spider in the dealership.
Oh, yeah. So I have a new car, and for those people, like maybe in previous episodes you've heard, but I also used to be a weekend mechanic. Like I used to do a lot of race car stuff. So I know my way around an engine bay. I've built some cars. I'm lucky enough to have a really nice little race car in my garage too. But my daily driver is new. My old one went out. We kind of got forced into it, bought a new one. It's awesome. But here's the thing. I can do all of the maintenance for the warranty except for rotating the tires. And it isn't that I can't rotate the tires. I have all the tools. They won't accept that I can rotate my tires. And so I actually went to the dealership, and I also called Subaru of America, and I said, listen, I have a YouTube page and I have a streaming page. I will literally put a live video on or record a video with a timestamp showing you that I can rotate all of my tires in my garage. And that would be proof that the work is done for warranty. Mm-hmm. And they said, I'm sorry, if you don't have a receipt, we can't guarantee that we would do warranty work for you. Wow. So I do all of my maintenance except for the things that I can't get a receipt for, which is you can't buy parts to rotate your tires, right? So I can't prove it in their high. So anyways, I have to go to the dealership to rotate my tires. I could go here, like closer to my house, but it's like 10 minutes further to drive to the dealership versus a mom and pop shop. And I like keeping my things nice. And so I called them and I just said, hey, I have a new car. If I bring it in to get my tires rotated, can you guys not fuck up my pinch welds? Because they'll fuck up your pinch welds otherwise. And the guy's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can put it up on jack stands or something. And I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm not giving you my business. And so I bring it to the dealership.
Yep. That's the one thing. I don't trust people rotating tires either, man, because I'm always afraid they're never going to torque them to the right specs.
So the question was about a spider.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that is.
Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm steering the boat. All right. So I'm sitting in the dealership. I'm drawing on my tablet and waiting for them to rotate my tires before work one morning. And like, I don't know, like 20 feet in front of me, I just see a spider drop from the ceiling, and it's just slowly coming down. And it like lands next to someone else. And I'm like, was in GDC Discord at the time. So I was just like giving the play-by-play of the spider drop in. And I watched it, and I watched it run over by a chair. And I was just like, you know what? Not my house, not my problem. I'm just gonna keep drawing. Like that spider, like I don't need to kill him. Someone else can kill him.
You know, I heard a statistic that I have a client who's just definitely afraid of spiders, and I'm his pest control guy.
Is it 8? Is that what you were gonna tell me?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. No.
But sleeping. Are you telling me a sleeping statistic?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's a spider within 1 foot of every human on this planet.
Oh yeah.
What do you think I was going to tell you?
Like the statistic that you eat a certain number of spiders every year in your sleep?
Oh, sure. I don't know about that part. I'm not going to freak people out there. I'm sure I've had a spider run on me at night when I'm asleep. That's one of my phobias, man. I hate spiders. I used to see these big giant tree spiders as a kid, or my dad was in the aluminum business, and we would have stacks of aluminum that would sit outside for a long time, and we'd flip one over to unbundle it. And these big wood spiders, man, were just, like the size of a softball. They were enormous spiders, man. And they freaked me out every time because they're fast, and I never could catch them, or I never could get the hell out of their way. So, gotta look around my office here. Every now and then, in one of my past houses I lived in, for some reason, I don't know if it was the oak trees around my house or what, but there was always a spider clinging to the corner of the ceiling at night, whether it's in my bedroom. I had one in my shower one time. So I always kept a 9-iron around in almost my rooms, and I would just flip it over, not the iron part, but the handle part, and just stick them, and they were done. But if you missed them, you never seen someone run out of a shower so fast and bust his ass, because I can't stand spiders, man. And I'm in the business.
Do you have the millipedes?
Yeah, we get those. We get the big ones and the small ones.
Yeah, so we in Minnesota, so my house before the one I live in now, I lived in North St. Paul. And it was an older house, like a 50s house. So, they have the foundations that like let bugs in. That's just how it doesn't matter. It's finished. Yeah. Like it's an old ass house.
Right.
And, so we had the millipedes, but they're only like 2 to 3 inches, but they're the ones with like the big cricket looking legs.
Right.
And the antennas, and they're fast as fast, dude. So fast. And, it sucks because they're better than spiders. Because they kill spiders and they kill everything else. They're like the super creepy beneficial basement cousin, right? So it isn't a horrible thing in that sense if you see them around, but it is a horrible thing to see them around because they're gross looking and they're fast.
Yeah.
And like, dude, there are times where I'd like, they weren't like, it wasn't like an infestation, but you'd see one every once in a while, right? And like there was one time where there was one on a towel when I got out of the bathroom, and we lived there for 12 years. So one time in 12 years, but you never forget it. Like, and so I'm washing off and it was in the towel and I didn't see it. And then it just starts running across my wet body. Yeah. I definitely woke up once or twice, like where they're just on the ceiling and it's like, oh God, is it going to drop on me? And dude, they don't want to mess with you. They run. They're terrified. They aren't going to hurt you, but they're just gross. But I for sure, Gator, had one run into my mouth, and I swallowed it. And I didn't think about it till I swallowed it, and that fucker bit my throat going down. So like it like got like sore, like my or scratched, or I don't know what it did.
No shit.
But it went in. And it half woke me up as I was swallowing it. And then I sat there for a half second, and then my brain registered what happened and that my throat was hurting. And I ran to the bathroom and I'm trying to drown it in water and just swallow everything. And I didn't even think to vomit. I should have just vomited. That would have just fixed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Acid would have killed him.
You still would have had a sore throat. Either way, buddy.
Yeah, I would have, but either way. So that was horrible.
I got you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's carpenter ants and spiders, man. I can't stand either of them.
Yeah.
I used to play paintball, and I would sit in a ghillie suit and tree cover and stuff, and there'd be a carpenter ant nest erupting out of it and getting all over me, and this is the worst.
No, thank you,
Mr. Trash Panda. He was on your show last week. Great show, by the way.
Last night.
Yeah, that's right. I just listened to it today, actually, while I was at work. And
thank you.
Since he lost a bet that he has to play Titan for, I guess, a month at least, he says, question for the doc, advice for a Titan in training.
Well, we definitely talked about this a little bit. I think it's embrace it, and it sounds like he really is. And it sounds like he might even do a Warlock next. So I think he's discovered the spice of life.
He's got
variety.
Got to play it all, man. Yeah, man. You got to experience all of Destiny.
Well, I was streaming tonight. He jumped in for a while, and then he hung out while he was farming Lost Sectors. And he was running legs today, and I know he got Laura Lee last night. So he's doing well. I asked him if he got Dune Marchers, and he had an okay roll on him already. So
nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
Good guy.
Yeah, dude.
We got a newer member here with a question. Volson, the Deathrite, has a question for you. Question for the show. What's your favorite fire team composition for PvE? For example, double Warlock Hunter is a potent combo, but my favorite one is each class. There is just something about having that variety that makes a fire team feel more full. What do you think there, man?
I play everything. PvP is seasonal. I swap around when I play in PvP, but in PvE, I play everything. So when I go into a raid with my friends or a dungeon, I just say, what do you need?
Yep.
It's just, what do you need? Do you need a well? Do you need a bubble? Or do you not care? And I can play whatever.
Right.
I definitely think that there's something to be said about variety. But I think each encounter, and not all of them, but a lot of them are easier to get through if you have a certain composition of players, or you know, maybe you need 2 wells or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
So I never have a problem being the person that needs to run well or needs to run div or whatever it is, dude. I'm there to hang with my friends.
Nice.
And if no one cares, then maybe I'll play, you know, Strand Hunter with the you know, whirly spin to wins, you know, Arc Warlock with Vesper and Arc Souls, or you know, I just whatever I'm feeling.
Usually when we play a raid, there's usually a couple wells. I'm usually one of them because first thing people say is they want a well. So I'm like, all right, I'm already built. I'm already ready to go. I'm not as knowledgeable with PvE setups. And I now, thanks to Trash Panda, I actually have a very good Void unkillable hunter build that I use with repulsor brace weapons. But Titan, I'm not as quite versed in. I can do what I need to do. If you need a bubble Titan, I can bring a bubble Titan in. I know how to use them and stuff, and I probably can put a build together that'll do the job. But usually I'm typically a well warlock, and usually Kingsley or Mr. Monkey or someone also bring one in. But usually we should go with maybe 1 or 2 hunters and all the rest. I mean, I agree, man. Just what he said. It feels good to have a little bit of everything because they all offer something, and you can't beat that. Thanks for your question there, Volson. Mr. Bell, question for Fluffy Toes BSN. Medical question. How was your PvP-ness? I can't believe you made me say that.
It's healthy. It is very healthy, and it's got a lot of exercise this week, so that's good. Really just trying to take care of it, trying to maintain, groom it into a good looking apparatus.
Well, he had a side question too. It says, what is your favorite snowboard to ride? Since it is in the season, right?
Well, yeah, that's hard because I taught snowboarding for 8 years, and I ran the freestyle leagues for our resort and for the local resorts around the Twin Cities. So out of that, because I was running the freestyle leagues, because I was running the comps, a lot of my friends were snowboard reps and ski reps because I was throwing the events that they would come and bring their brands to. I'm the person they would talk to give out free merch. You know, I'm the MC handing out stuff. So my entire snowboard career up until not even recently, my entire snowboard career for the past 2 decades, I don't have to pay retail prices typically. So I get everything at a very insane discount. So I don't get choosy with my boards because I have silly deals come by. One of my best friends was a K2 rep for the Midwest for a long time, and now he does Ride and a couple other brands. And so with him, it was more, he would get really nice demo boards. And for those that don't know, the way it works is if it's the 23-24 season right now, he has boards. He's had boards since October for next year. So they're not even released. They're not on websites, but he already has them in his hands. And he goes around to the hills and lets people ride them, right? But what they do is they just go there with their entire stash. So some boards never get ridden. Wow. So there'll be times where he'll be like, hey, I have the snowboard for sale. Do you want it? It's $100. It's still wrapped in plastic. It's a $700 snowboard. Oh
my God, dude. That's cheap.
Yeah. So I've had the benefit of riding stuff like that. So I have 3 snowboards right now. They're all K2. I haven't purchased a new one since he swapped jobs. But my entire family's set up on K2 and Ride because of friends. So nice. It's more of a opportunity than a preference thing.
Good deal. Question asked, question answered. All right. Trash Panda has another one here. Question for the Ultra Runner. What is your goal for a single event distance ran?
That's happening this year. I signed up. Yeah. So right now, the furthest race I have done is a 50K, which is 31 miles in the woods.
Holy shit.
And I've done that twice. And so I'm lucky enough to have a cousin, and she runs hundreds. and she has quite a few 100-milers under her belt.
Dude.
So I have someone to keep me under the wing, right? Someone to
A marathon's 26, right?
Yeah.
You're running, damn. Wow.
So she called me 2 weeks ago, and she goes, you want to do a backyard ultra? And what this backyard ultra is it's for this one at least is a 4-mile loop. Mm-hmm. It's like 200 something elevation every 4 miles. And every hour on the hour, you have to be at the start line. And they say go, and you run the loop. And whatever time you have left, you can eat, do whatever you need. Mm-hmm. And then the next hour, you're at the start line and you go. And so I was like, yeah, that's cool. And it's last man standing. Oh so it's run until you can't run anymore. I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to beat myself, right?
I hear you.
But the cool thing is I'm going with like 5 or 6 girls, and they're all 100-milers. Like they all have 100-milers under their belts. They're all crazy, like awesome women. I train with them, so they're good people. And so I have this safety net for my next race, and this is end of April. So my goal, I really want to run 40 to 50 miles. That's my goal. Jeez. And I figure they're going to be good for 50 to 100. So I should always have someone running with me. So I should always have someone to talk to and bitch about hills with and whatever else it is.
Dude, you're insane.
Yeah, it'll be cool though. Thinking about it. I think it starts at it starts in the evening too on a Friday. Whoa. And so like a majority of the race is going to be in the dark Saturday morning.
Oh my God.
But I'm excited. I'm really excited. So I'm training for that now.
Through the woods in the dark.
Yep. All woods.
You're nuts, man. You're nuts. Okay. I'll just stay down here in Florida and just do what I do. Good on you, man. Good on you. That's impressive, dude. Technical has a question for you. Question for Tuxedo T-shirt Jesus. Wow, what a name. Did you know that you're my favorite?
Oh, you're my favorite too.
Nice. I like Technical. He's inspired me as a warlock. Man, his movements are crazy. Sit Daddy Fresh has another one. Question for the fluffiest fluff to ever fluff. Why do eggs and chicken not taste the same?
That's a good question.
I do not know.
I think it's the same reason why fresh baked pizza and leftover pizza doesn't taste the same.
Okay. That correlates. Coderson has a question. Question for the fluffy one. How fluffy are your fingers?
Very. It really makes running hard. It's pretty much all feathers, which like PvP, a lot of people don't know this and you guys can't see my cam. So obviously you have to take my word for it, but I do everything via my feet.
They're pretty fluffy.
It's like my hands are so fluffy. I can't use a mouse. So those old game pads for NES, like for the Olympics. Yeah. I just dance on that. That's how I PvP.
Oh my gosh. Okay. A few more questions here.
Okay.
Trash Panda has another one. Question for PvPMD. Who are you hiring to take me to the lighthouse?
Ooh, probably 2 other people.
Best answer tonight.
I've gone to the lighthouse a bunch. I shouldn't say that. I've only gone to the lighthouse once on my own, and that was 100% solo. I'm somewhere like 18 to 20 times, and all those other times were because I have killers as friends, and they took me.
Yeah, you got killers in that Discord, man. Danger Power has to follow up, of course. He says, question for Dr. Floofdrick von Floofenstein. Why are you taking me to the lighthouse and not Panda? Did I mention I can bribe with coffee and food?
Well, I'm fine not taking both of you and also having the coffee and food.
Oh, my God. All right, couple more here. Trash Panda has another one for you. Question for the Polar Pavement Pounder and Gator. What are the best pizza toppings and crust? Oh, we may not be friends after this. All right.
I like this.
Go ahead. You go ahead and start.
Okay. I think you hate what I like. First of all, I'm very open to pizza. I will try pizza. I will give it a try. I am very open to try new things with pizza. So I am not a snob in that way at all. If I was going to eat a lot of it, I think New York slice is amazing. If I'm eating it occasionally, I think Chicago deep dish is very special. I think they both are amazing styles of pizza, but obviously you can't eat deep dish every single day. As far as toppings go, like it really depends on the pizza itself. A sausage and pepperoni thin crust is different than a sausage and pepperoni hand tossed. So I think the crust that you're going with determines the type of pizza. So we'll just go with like popular things that I order. A good buffalo pizza is always topping on my list. I eat very spicy food, so whatever pizza I have my own personal peppers that I crush up. So I put my own very spicy peppers on my pizza, and I like the, as my wife calls it, cardboard Parmesan cheese, the stuff in the, that you shake on, the little granules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I'm all about it. The stuff that you find at most pizza places. So anyways, buffalo with added peppers, or solid pepperoni pizza is always good. Thin crust pepperoni and sausage. I like pepperoni and pineapple. I like pepperoni and jalapeno. I'm open, man. I have no problem with pineapple, dude.
Well,
like I said, I'll try anything. I'll try it.
Let me start off in saying I am not a pizza snob as well. In fact, I love Chicago deep dish. I've had both, and New York thin slice. I mean, New York style is really good too. I mean,
yeah.
When you can put a ton of toppings on a pizza and it's pretty much a meat pizza and you don't have a bunch of dough to eat. But then there's times when I really like a deep dish pizza with all the good stuff in it. Every pizza has to have 3 special toppings on it for me to eat it. It has to have mushrooms. It has to have red or regular onions, and it has to have double cheese. Those 3 things are a must if I order any pizzas. That's where I start. That's my base. Now, I'm not a big pepperoni fan. I know. I used to love pepperoni as a kid, but I've grown out of it. Italian sausage? Oh, yeah. Hamburger?
Spicy?
Yes.
Spicy or non-spicy?
No
sausage?
spice. It has to be
Okay.
I'm not a spicy eater. I can't eat spice. I can't. I mean, I've eaten some spice, but I'm just not built that way, man. I'm Scotch and Irish. I'm not built for the hot stuff. I'm more potatoes and steak kind of guy. That's my mainstream. Yeah, there you go. I knew you'd get that in. But that's the base. You have to start with those 3 things. And then, like I said, meats, I'll go to a place called Blaze. I'm sure you're familiar with it, over in a little side of town, and they're all over the place in Orlando. Where you go in, They give you a crust. They tell you what kind of sauce you want. It's always red sauce for me. Don't put that margarita crap. Don't put that white sauce on there. Red sauce always, and bolognese. Sometimes I'll throw that kind of sauce on there too, with a little meat sauce in it. And then, when it comes to veggies, I'll just load it up, man. I mean, it's a create your own pizza. So I'll usually throw on mild green peppers. I usually go double onions, double cheese, of course. I'll go, Italian sausage. I'll go a little bit of hamburger. I'll even go some ham, a little bit of ham, circular ham slices. I'll go with those, but I won't go pepperoni. I don't know why. It's an oily meat. I just can't do it.
Fine.
And then, I'll usually put a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of oregano on it. I'm good to go.
Oh, it sounds good, man.
And Blaze, it's a thin crust. So.
Oh, okay.
Really
I mean, I would try it. Like mushrooms, I typically am not a mushrooms person, but again, man, like I've had pizzas where we've had them and I'm like, this pizza's amazing, but looking at the ingredients list, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be good, but yeah. Again, gotta try shit. You never know.
And for the record, do not put pineapple on my pizza. Okay. Might start a war there.
That's why you order 2.
Okay. Last question is from Technical. Question for Chong's distant relative. What are your go-to games outside of Destiny right now? Well, you mentioned one of them. Are there any others?
Yeah. I'm actively playing Cyberpunk again and Call of Duty and Destiny. And then it's really a time thing. Like I would play other games. Like I love racing games. I used to play hockey games a lot. But really it's a time thing. And I try and use my time in ways that I want. So, if I have time to game, it's one of those 3. I'm not really spreading myself out too much. I have been playing a little Fortnite and Lego Fortnite with the kiddos. That's fun. But yeah.
Yep. There's other games? I didn't know there was any other games. But
I mean, dude, up until recently, I was Destiny all the way.
I was too. Yeah. I've been branching out. I did actually play the finals with Native Raider, and I think it was Sith. I think Sith Daddy was playing with us. It was okay. It's just really fast paced. It takes a lot to get used to, but I think I could have fun at that game. I am going to play some Call of Duty Zombies. I might even actually jump into the multiplayer as well. It's been like 10 years since I played multiplayer, in Call of Duty. It's been a long time, so I might try it though. Saying that you're having fun doing it might be enough for me to try it.
Give it time, man. You're gonna. The cool thing that you could do, Gator, is if you do like zombies, you can always unlock your weapons in zombies and then have the attachments for multiplayer. Or go into yeah,
okay.
You have to unlock attachments and stuff, and so it's cool because like there's some guns that you have to do some really stupid stuff to unlock, but you can just go into zombies and get a random drop of it.
Okay, so
exfil with it out, and then it's unlocked. So
I'm hearing you correctly. I can play a ton of zombies, get all the unlocks for all the weapons, and use them in multiplayer?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yep. I'm in. I'm definitely in.
And you might even be able to unlock them if you exfil with them. I don't know how that works, but I know for sure the gun itself, like, because I had a gun that I wanted to try, but it was like I had to level up like 4 other guns to get that one gun. Okay. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, again, my philosophy lately is I'm going to enjoy my time gaming. I'm not going to grind shit I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went into zombies and I exfilled with a sniper, and I went and looked in multiplayer, and I'm like, oh shit, I can use a sniper now. This is great.
Oh, okay. I like it. I'll be visiting YouTube tomorrow morning, researching that out. Good deal. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate you being a good sport, answering all the questions. Thanks, community, for sending your questions your way. Let's see if we had Dimwee had a question for me. He goes, any new insane bagel dips lately? I'm pretty plain guy. I'm pretty much, I have my customs. I have my routines in the morning. And, I will tell you this. I don't just dip bagels in oatmeal. I do the little spoon and tip. I do a spoon of oatmeal and just put it right on the edge of the whole wheat toast. And then bite. That whole spoon and tip comment could just be taken in so many directions. Yeah, that's right. It could. That's good. I'll edit that out. Okay. Don't worry about it.
No, don't do that. This is important though.
But yeah,
hold on. I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second.
No shit.
We're like what, 3 or 4 weeks since the last time I was on?
Mm-hmm.
And you still haven't purchased Multi-Meal?
I have not. I was just at the grocery today. I was at the grocery tonight. I just didn't think to do it. Someone please message me.
Yeah, if you remember to send me your address, I'm going to see if Amazon will ship it to you.
Okay. Multi-Meal. Okay. All right. I'll get you address. All right. We have 2 Destiny questions. I figured this is a Destiny podcast. This is from Blackbird. He goes, question for the show. Since you're both PvP guys, I'm curious, what's the jelly to your peanut butter? I know Gator is a pulse guy with his primary of choice, but what is your second weapon of choice? And Fluffy, what is your preferred pairing?
Awesome.
I got this answer easy. Go for it.
You want to go first or second?
I'll go first. Of course, pulse rifles. I like all kinds of pulse rifles. I'm like Legolas Flash with fusion rifles. I love pulse rifles, and I love finding out which ones work. I'm using the new Belisarius from the comp playlist. I've got a couple of them now, but thanks to True Vanguard, I am all sidearm, man. I am all about the sidearm now, and not just the one he uses now. I like trying all kinds of different ones, and I'll have ones with Head Seeker. I'll have ones with the new Precision Instrument perk. I've got a Buzzard Adept I use with Perpetual Motion Rangefinder, ricochet rounds. I love sidearms. And as long as Bungie still makes them viable, I'll still use them. I mean, I've got a Sanua SI6. I've even got the Raid one from Ron, the Michael's Reverence. I'm even trying that one out. So I'm all about the sidearm. Because I'm so sick and tired of the sliding shotgunners. So usually what I'll do is I'll blink backwards and then just open fire. And I've had good success with it. So that's my pairing as of right now, Blackbird. All right, Fluffy, what are you using, man?
Ever since Destiny 1, I've been a fusion main. And I got Saladin's Vigil really early. And so I had a really good role, and I was mapping people with it, and I fell in love with it. When Destiny 2 first started, I was running a lot of Oriental FR4. I have over 9,000 kills.
You killed me so many times in scrims with that damn... I got so pissed off.
Yeah, so I have over 9,000 kills with that gun. And then they nerfed it. They changed archetypes, and I kind of fell out of my love with fusions until Burden and Guilt came around. And I was lucky enough to get a nice Burden and Guilt from the Lighthouse.
Okay.
I hit exactly 3,000 kills with it today. My counter going into scrim said 3,000 even. Yeah, so I like that gun. It doesn't reach out and touch you like an Arental did, but still I think the range on that surprises people. I surprised quite a few people tonight with that. And then I'll typically pair it with the hand cannon.
That's an adaptive, isn't it? I think I have a couple of those. Yeah, the adaptives are kind of wild cards, man. Some of them are really good. Nice.
I like all the adaptives. Like, I think Burden, I think Trinary System, and what's the other one? There's one from Last Wish, and then there's the one from Gambit. I had Dim up.
Yeah, that I've never liked the one from Gambit. It just doesn't. The recoil pattern does not work.
Oh, dude. It's very, like, if you get the right roll, I have a tap the trigger firmly planted roll.
Okay.
Liquid coils, hammer forge, so range, and then charge masterwork. That one's very, very nice. And then the other one, you can craft the Techian Force, and those are all adaptives.
Yep.
So the thing with adaptive fusion rifles, to make them feel good, you need a targeting mod on them, and you need 2 helmet mods for targeting.
Gotcha. Good to know.
And that will make them more sticky. You also need the rolls matter. Like, a lot of guns you can get by without the rolls mattering, but the rolls really matter with fusions.
I've got a Trinary with exactly that. It doesn't have all the perfect rolls, but it does have firmly planted and tap the trigger. Yeah,
if you just targeting mod and 2 other ones.
There was a guy...
I really like that gun.
There was a guy that we played against in Iron Banner the other night that had the Glacio Chasm, and he had Iron Pack reserves, but he had another one that was syncing with it, that would give him even more accuracy when he was down on rounds. I can't remember the name of it now because I don't have that roll. Dude, I could not. It didn't matter. I danced around him. I juked. I did everything. The guy would just patiently sat there and just lit me up every time with it.
Good Glacio is that archetype can really do some stupid shots.
It was crazy.
I have the one with I have the Wizened with the offhand strike. So if you shoot someone, then you can hip fire your next shot, and it's like 1.5 times your distance.
Okay.
So you're basically like outside of auto rifle range, outside of hand cannon range, like in a very tight cone. It's crazy. So those, if you're good, like those high impact ones, can be really deadly. But I prefer a faster charge time because of shotguns.
Yeah.
Like with an adaptive, I can still mess up and see a radar too late, jump backwards, and voop someone before they can shotgun me, more times than not.
Here's the roll, by the way. It's high impact reserves, because I inspected them, and under pressure. If you have those 2 together, the guy would not miss. And the range he would hit me at, I would think I was out of range, and I wouldn't worry about it. He'd get me every time. He'd just liquidate me, man. It was just amazing. I was impressed. The guy did not miss with it, though. Anyway.
Yeah, Killing Wind was a popular one. Yep. And then the new one, the new Glacial Chasm, and now you can't get it till next year, but it came out with some new perks and successful warm-up, and there were some other options. Yeah. Lego put out a video, and I was grinding for it. I didn't get it. I shouldn't say grinding. Yeah. I did all of my focusing for that weapon, and I didn't get it. So
I got Killing Wind and Controlled Burst. It's going to have to do. And Projection Fuse, Arrowhead Break. Maybe I'll try it. I'm not ever since they nerfed the charge time on it, I've just not been a fan, man. I'd rather try to light you up with like either an adaptive, which I have like a really quick, a quick charge up time on, or I'm a big fan of the rapid charging. My favorite, just for the record, my favorite is Zealot's Reward.
Yeah, Zealots is.
And it's not even a great roll, but it's just the base stats for that weapon work really well. And I know Lego didn't really rank it very high. I watched this video at the end of the year. It's in the middle somewhere, but I really like that rifle, man. It's just something about that rifle. Yeah, that's the reason I'll run more raids, just to get that rifle.
Yeah, and Rapids can be really strong. I mean, he used Cartesian coordinate to become the #1 Rumble player in the world. Like, he used Cartesian coordinate to do that. So Rapids can be very strong. Yeah. But you put yourself in shotgun range.
I was using one last night with my Titan, Mr. Fluffy Fingers. I had the high impact reserves and under pressure liquid coils and the red dot 2 MOA. And I tell you what, man, If I was using a Titan for Cartesian coordinate.
You have that on Cartesian?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, don't ever shard that.
Oh,
yeah. It's a hard gun to get.
You know what? Do you know what's funny, Fluffy, is I needed solar kills, and it's the only, my vault is stat full. I couldn't move anything. It was the only thing in my Titan energy weapons. I just got lucky, I guess. And I save everything, man. But that's the problem. I can't move anything now because my vault is. I'm gonna do a stream. I'm gonna do a cleaning. Yeah. I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna stream it before.
Be very careful.
I know. I know.
I was gonna say Destiny recipes. I think it's a powerful tool. Yeah. But man, some of the things that they were saying were bad rolls. Go against very, very high level players' opinions.
Well, the problem is, Fluffy, is the sandbox is always changing. What perk could be trash this season could be godly next season.
I think this is my philosophy with vault cleaning. Weed out whatever dupes you can. Mm-hmm. Get rid of exotics you don't use, obviously.
Okay.
Right?
Because you can make them.
Why not just pull them from collections? Like, I had a Tommy's Matchbook. I haven't shot that thing in how many years?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and then start getting rid of weapons that you don't use. Don't use scout rifles, or you only sell them. Keep 2 or 3. Keep a kinetic and an energy, get shard the rest. If you get into scout rifles, you can just go craft one.
Good point. And I have some crafted ones, so I don't know why I'm hanging on to so many of them. Okay, last question of the night. This is from Teabag Thy Enemy. How much would you pay for a solid shader color? Also, how much would you pay for 500 extra slots in the vault? We may differ on this.
Gator, how much do you think you have spent on Destiny besides buying the game? How much?
Oh, microtransactions?
Eververse silver do you think you've spent, if you don't mind saying?
Over the 9, almost 10 years I've played this game, probably $300.
Okay. I have purchased one exotic skin, which was Mask of Baccharis when it first came out.
That's a good skin.
And I purchased the dog emote that went to the charity for sick kids and dogs.
Right.
And animals. Because I'll always help kids and animals, dude. I'm not the person to ask. I would, if I get it for free, great. Yeah. I have so much crap in Destiny. Like, yeah, I know. I'm not gonna spend money on a shader when I have 1,000 shaders that I don't use. Yep. Like, I have so many shaders, like, it's just ridiculous. Me right? Too. Vault space. Yeah, dude, I would spend $10-20 on vault space. Hands down. That's typically what, like, a bundle or a pack would go for in most games. Like, I'd much rather keep a bunch of weapons than get rid of things that I worked really hard for.
To have 1,100 slots in my vault, man, that'd be worth $20 to me. Maybe 25.
Well, 12, right? Because we want to double it. So
yeah, exactly. Well, it's 600 now. They raised it 100. Ooh, they raised it 100.
Did he say 500 in his
He said
question?
500, yeah.
We're getting 600. We're gonna double it.
Okay, yeah, $25. Give me double my vault space.
Yeah,
hell, I'm there. Goes with that. Now, shader colors, dude. I'm a shader collector. I have almost all the shaders. I mean, I do, and I'll go every week to Eververse, and if there's a new shader for Bright Dust, I buy it. Now, I know they've been selling some shaders bundled with silver purchases and ornaments and stuff. That's not cool. And those are probably some of the ones I don't have. I might have caved on one. It was the new Mida multi-tool shader and ornament. It was just awesome. I had a little silver left over from something I bought. But yeah, I mean, 300 probably over 10 years. I mean, come on, man. That's not that much.
Dude, here's the thing. Okay. So our community, not our community, but the Destiny community, really gets bent out of shape on cosmetics. Right? Paying for cosmetics, right? But everyone does it. And if it isn't changing gameplay, if it's just cosmetic, then whatever. I don't care, man. If you're going to give me 800 shaders and 10 of them you're going to make people pay for, I am the type of person that I don't need those 10 shaders because I know realistically I'm not going to use the 800 I get for free in game.
Right.
Like, when I bought Call of Duty, I didn't buy the season pass until I played it for a month. And I was like, you know what? Game's still sticking. I'll put my money into it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think if you play enough Call of Duty, you can actually get enough credits to buy your next season pass. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what they tell me. Yep.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that either. It was never that way. I mean, we didn't have season passes when I played Call of Duty last. So like I said, I got the game. I'm going to play zombies. And now that you told me I can unlock, I'm in, man. You can unlock, you're unlocked for the guns.
But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know about you, but I'm like, the more I get that it sucks that there's microtransactions, but I also think that there's another side that people don't look at. And that is, there's more creativity than coming into the game. Like, I think it's like, I'm not one to go into Call of Duty and buy the Skeletor pack, but I think it's rad that Skeletor is playing Call of Duty next to me.
Pretty cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think bringing those sort of things into Destiny, bringing the Witcher crossover, I was so close to buying that Warlock Samurai armor that came out before that.
Yep.
I welcome that shit, man. Even if I don't buy it, it just means that they're gonna be more creative with stuff. And you know what? Sometimes you get that stuff for free in engrams. So,
I think this is ultimately the way it's going to be. And until they can figure out NFTs, a better way to present them to people. So I was talking to my son about NFTs. I said, son, this is ridiculous. Who would want to buy this image when they can just copy it? People copy stuff all the time. And he says, but think of it this way, Dad. He goes, think of having your own artist draw your style character or avatar or whatever, and it's yours and no one can duplicate it. It's yours.
But it's not, and it can be. I get it. Like, we talked about this too, and like, it can be copied. And I think the word NFT is weird because it's just digital art.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, digital art can be copied.
Yeah.
But so can regular ones. Like, I have a comic book of a hip hop artist that I really like behind me on the wall. And that is not the original art. That is a print of the art.
Right.
But it's still cool to me. And it doesn't take away from wherever the original art is. You know what I mean?
Art's been doing that forever, man. You can buy prints for any artwork out there.
Yeah. So I think that's more of a money laundering scam type of thing than anything else.
Can you imagine,
that's my thing.
If they figured out how not to copy artwork, if you could actually have your own, I'm always thinking like the online universe that we all, like the movie, Ready Player One. Wouldn't it really cool when they went in there and everyone had their own mods, their own style of player that they could come in with? And it seemed like it wasn't like copied too much. It's like everyone had their own individual identity in the world. And I really hope we get to that eventually without people having to copy or counterfeit stuff. But that just seems cool to me. That just seems like the next step in online gaming, is to have your own personal, and I don't know how they're going to get there, but it just sounds cool to me. But
I mean, dude, can you imagine like artists, like you could just go to Young Con and be like, hey man, will you design a Titan for me to run? Yeah. $500.
I keep it forever, Yeah. Well, good deal, man. Good conversation. But wait, there's more. We have our topic of the week, which we're going to get into right after this.
Hi, this is Dimwee, and you're listening to Guardian Downcast. And while your choice of a subclass is probably questionable, just like your class choice, you're still probably a decent person.
This last year we had some of the best games that were being released, according to feedback from the gaming community. But at the same time, we had some massive layoffs, which makes me think, is the gaming industry in a state of flux, but we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, so to speak? So I sat down with FluffyFingersMD to talk about it. So let's listen in. I want to ask you something else, Fluffy, before we go tonight. You think gamers will ever stop buying microtransactions from live service games? Where do you think this is heading, man? Is this going to be just the norm going forward, or do we finally just had enough? And once nobody spends with their wallet anymore, do you think they'll just go away? Or do you think this is just something we're going to have to live with for a long, long time?
Yeah, I mean, the drive is not that they aren't making enough money to do games. The drive is that we live in a world where every quarter you need to push better profits, and everything always has to be more and better. And I think that's why we'll always see microtransactions. I think that's why they'll always try and look for every dollar possible. It's a business. That's what a business is supposed to do.
Right.
Whether you agree with it or not, you're not the one running the business. And let's be honest, how much knowledge do you really have in that aspect of business? Like, we can throw shade at developers all day long, but we don't know shit about developing. But I think, I mean, is it bad? Do I have a problem with it? Not really, man. Like, I have self-control. I spend money on things I want to spend money on, dude. Like, I might not buy a bunch of stuff from Eververse because I know that there's so much other content that I can get for free and enjoy. And, like, yeah, that might look cool. But if it, if it isn't worth my time, like, then I'm not going to put money into it. But there are people that do. And that's great. I think that you should spend your money on what you want to. I think it's cool to support things that you're into, whether it's like streamers or, video games or OnlyFans or whatever it is that you want to spend your money on, dude. Go for it. I think the thing that microtransactions found, or what they found with them, is that the whales make up for everyone else.
They don't need to spend much.
You don't need everyone to buy microtransactions. You just need a few very wealthy people to buy into the microtransactions. You want the people where $20 doesn't mean anything. You're not looking for, you're not looking for someone who's like, going paycheck to paycheck. You're not looking for someone who's, whatever they're saving for, a house, a car, mountain bike, like whatever your jam is. It's a numbers game, man. They just want to throw them out there, and those people that want to either spend their money and support the developer, spend their money because it's worth looking cool for their skins, or just money doesn't have value to them. Like, those are the people that really drive the sales for the microtransactions.
Yeah, and you mentioned how much you've actually spent in silver over the last 10 years. And I guess I'm somewhere in between. I'm not the person who's going to buy everything that comes out. But if they get me with something, I just love. I mean, it's just something that, okay, it's worth $10 to me. There's a limit. There's a limit to what I'll buy on a digital product that will be useless whenever the game folds, I realize that going in, but it's like, let's use Christmas as an example. I mean, let's talk about what people spend in lighting their house with decorations. I will refuse to buy the $100 snowman ornament because people are idiots. People will stop by and they'll pick it up and steal it out of my yard. And that's $100 I just might as well just put on fire and just let it burn. I just can't see the value in doing it. But I will pass two of my neighbors that will have 25 to 50 of those blow up ornaments everywhere in their yard. And every time I walk by their yard, I'm like, how are people not stealing this stuff, man? He must have cameras like everywhere in his house. I would be so paranoid if I had that many ornaments. I would just count the money I had sitting in my front yard for people to just come by and pluck it out of my yard. But
see, but they're not thinking about that though. They're just thinking about Christmas. Like they're not thinking about the theft part of it, right? Like they're just like, I just want to celebrate.
But that's how I think about microtransactions. And maybe it's not the best comparison, but I will spend $20 in silver because I really love the Mida multi-tool ornament they had, and the gold shader came with it. It was worth it to me. But there's some people, possibly like you, that would go, I'd hardly even see my gun. It's a first-person shooter. Unless I'm in third person, I'll never even see this. The shader, is okay, but I've got 1 million shaders, and I can use any kinds of different shaders. I guess it's just all about perspective and what you value as entertainment and as part of your hobby. But to answer my own question, I don't know about microtransactions. Is this a fad? Is this something that we're going to talk about that happened in the 2020s? And in the 2030s, no one even thinks about microtransactions? It's hard to envision it not being part of the model.
Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that lid has been lifted. I think if anything, you might see subscription-based gaming more, but then they'll still have microtransactions.
Funny you should say that. That was the next thing I wanted to get into, was subscriptions.
Yeah.
Why has Destiny not gone subscription?
Well, I think there are subscriptions out there, and Destiny was a part of them. Like, Destiny was part of Xbox Live.
Right.
Destiny is part of PSN Plus. So I think that is a subscription model that we're going to see. I think what's the point of a subscription model for Destiny versus buying an expansion and a dungeon pack and a battle pass? Like, you're kind of already doing a subscription model.
You're just paying up front.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's like, okay, you want to get Discord Nitro? You're going to pay monthly or you're going to pay yearly? You're going to pay the one that has a discount, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I pay monthly, just for the record.
What you're doing. Yeah. Pay monthly? Man, you got to get that discount.
I know.
Think of all the blow up like things that you could have in your front yard with the savings.
It's hard for me to think of that.
No, I don't. No, dude. I mean, you know, there's one thing that I've learned from living in America these years is that if they find a way to make money off of us poor peasants, they are going to do it until they are forced to stop or until that is no longer viable. And video games aren't going anywhere. So making cosmetics and selling as much cosmetics as possible is always going to be the goal. Like, every game that's what they're going to do. And to not do that, you are a rare percent, and I have a lot of respect. One game just came out. I forget what it was. Something just came out, Gator, and they're like, DLCs and cosmetics are free.
Yeah. I can't think of it. I tongue-tipped my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're out there. Those games are out there.
But it's rare.
It's rare.
But it's rare.
But what happens if they invest all that money in that game and nobody buys it? And even if the cosmetics and stuff are free, if the game's not fun to play, then they just lost their ass.
Yeah, well, they're trying to invest in community.
Right.
They're investing in like Panda had a story for us last night where he walked into a store wearing a hat, and it was the business he was wearing a hat, and the guy who owned the business for the hat he was wearing saw that and goes, "Here's 2 more free hats and some merch because you're already repping our brand."
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, like, what has he done? He's established like an awesome customer relationship there. And like, when people do stuff like that for me, like, oh, hey, cool. Like, now you have a loyal customer.
Right.
Like, I go to a bike shop for my cycling bikes in Minneapolis, and I drive there because of customer service, because the people are cool, because they've saved me money and done stuff like that. Right. And so, like, a developer doing that with DLCs and stuff, I see that as kind of like the same approach, right?
Okay.
Like, instead of trying to squeeze every dollar out of you, we're going to try and squeeze loyalty into you.
See, I played the finals
like that,
and it is free to play, and had a good time. Jumped in, played some games, but I don't know if I'm going to buy the season pass because I don't know if I'm going to invest the time in it. And that's the problem with live service right now. You're talking about they're trying to establish a community. There's so many companies that have tried live service and failed miserably. Because they just can't get people to buy into the game community, and they end up just folding and just saying we're not supporting our game anymore.
But I think it's a numbers thing, right? Like, I personally think free to play games with microtransactions are a very smart approach if you're not established. I mean,
sure, we
can always say, look at Fortnite, right? They're a $1 billion company now. But I mean, dude, even people coming into Destiny, how many people came into Destiny when it was free to play because their friends played it?
Right.
And then they got them in, and now they're buying stuff.
Right.
They're buying expansions and season passes and stuff like that, right? So
yeah, there was a story I heard it somewhere. I can't remember where I heard, but one mount in World of Warcraft made more money than producing the game. Think of that. Think about that. They made the game World of Warcraft, or just say the expansion, spent millions and millions of dollars, and they made more money from one mount in the game. That blows me away, man. So free to play is maybe they're just way ahead of the curve there. As far as all it takes is, like you said, a few whales.
Well, and you have to have a good product. You really do. So finals hasn't pulled you in, right?
Not fully yet.
How many people? But how many people has it pulled in?
Oh,
I jumped on Twitch yesterday. It was either yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday after the show, or it was this morning or something. And I went on to follow Panda.
Right.
On stream. And all of the Destiny content creators that I follow, and granted, I have not been up to date on Twitch because, I don't know, COVID just kind of threw all that out, right?
I've been
Changed
on and
habits.
off. I hear you.
Yeah. None of them were playing Destiny. Not a single content creator that I follow was playing Destiny. But a lot of the PvP ones are playing the finals.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a fad. I mean, we see lots of that. We see lots of, and I think it's good too. I think it's good to go play games for a couple weeks, month, whatever you want to do, and come back when it's time to come back. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think for everyone that a free to play game doesn't get, there are people that are getting into it, and you have those streamers exposing it out there and hyping it up, and people watching them play. And I think if you get that community going, then the free to play investment can really pay off. But you got to have a solid product, and you got to get people interested.
Here's where I differ on the subscription service you mentioned. You know me, I'm always thinking of the new player because that's the lifeblood of this game. I want this game to last a long time. And if they don't have new blood coming in that experiences everything as a new player, let's face it, we've been playing this game a long time. If we take a few nights off, we don't even think twice about it because we know we've seen everything. We've seen behind the curtain. We know what the game's about. But when I was talking to John the Bounty Hunter, when I first interviewed him, he was amazed. And he could not believe he had that Destiny 1 feeling, man. You remember that feeling when you went out into the world and you're like, I can go over there. And you hear the crickets, you can hear the wind blowing and the Cosmodrome. And all these cars used to be here. And this is the post-apocalyptic world where it blew me away, man. I've never seen anything like it. And I really want people to experience that feeling. I will never get it back because that's just human nature, man. We've already tasted it. We know what it tastes like. And eventually when you eat caviar, eventually it tastes like crap. It's just human nature, man. But here's what I like about a subscription model for Destiny. And maybe they might still do it. Maybe it's too late. I don't know. Let's think of one player whose friend says, man, you got to get into Destiny, man. I say, okay, well, what do I need to buy to get into the game and get where you're at? Well, you need to go to Steam and just click on Destiny 2 and it'll tell you everything you need to buy. Then they look and it's $400 to buy everything to catch up in the game. And they're like, no, I pass. I mean, I tried finals for free and I was like, it's good. I like it, but I'm probably going to go play Iron Banner this week. I'm just gonna be honest because I'm familiar with me. I have friends who play it, but if you told that new person, instead of the $400 you have to pay up front for a game that you don't know anything about, what if you could pay $8.99 a month and have all the content unlocked, jump in and play any part of it you want? You want to go play Red War and start from the beginning of Destiny 2? So be it. If you want to start from the beginning and do it in chronological order, in fact, I've got a Destiny help desk I'm coming out with talking about this very subject in the next week or two. And, but if they only had to invest $8.99 for a whole 30 days of gameplay, the barrier to entry would be so low that it would be worth it to someone to invest that small amount of money and just unlock all the content, Bungie. Just unlock all the content, get people in it. And when you had it on Game Pass, it's not on Game Pass anymore. It was so easy. There was no barrier to entry for people to jump in and try this game. And I think if there was a small subscription service for people to just jump in and start playing the game, then it makes sense to have the microtransactions. If you jump into the store and you get an Eververse Ingram and you go there and turn it in, you go, oh, wait a minute. What is this Ghost? Look at all the stuff around it. That is so cool. You know what? I only paid $8.99. It's worth $5. That's 500 silver. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. And don't put frickin' package limits on it. Just if they want to buy 500 silver, let them buy it. This is where I think Destiny could turn themselves around if they just got away from the expansion. I know World of Warcraft, they have a subscription service except for the new expansion. If you want to play the brand new expansion that just came out, then you got to pay, I don't know, $39 or something for it. That just makes sense to me versus, okay, so you want to play Destiny. well, you need to get the Shadowkeep pack. You need to get the Forsaken pack, even though you can't play the game, the story anymore. You can get the Armory weapons, which everyone was up in arm about that. All these different add-ons, Bungie's just doing it wrong. They're just doing it wrong. Why are they doing this? Why are they making it so difficult? I
think we agree. Their whole package deal is shit. Like, I think everyone agrees on that. Like, it's deceptive.
Yeah.
There's not $400 of content that you should ever be buying for this game. It's totally deceptive, dude.
Yeah.
I think that is absolutely a downside to them. Yeah, I think that's bullshit. If you go look at Steam, and it's not helpful, and they aren't very clear on it. Like, no. It is 100% set up purposely, I might add, because it isn't an accident that it looks this way. It is purposely looks this way. Someone from the company decided that these are the packages that we're going with, and someone from the company decided that we are not going to update these, package them, make them a good deal for people, all that. Yeah, I agree. And Devil's Advocate, they also have sales. Like, on Christmas, you could get a lot of that stuff for really, really cheap, right?
Very true.
But you shouldn't have to. It should just be, whatever. There should be a small catch-up pack. I agree with you there. I think that we both agree that they're trash at that. So let's go back to the service model. What do you think? What can we agree on average, is 1 year's worth of Destiny content? It's $100.
$100. That's what we're paying anyway. Because it's $100 for the expansion and all 4 seasons. At least that's what it was.
So you're right. So somewhere between $8 and $10 a month would be a similar subscription fee, right? And then Bungie's not technically losing money. I mean, they could do it. They absolutely could. What's the benefit for Bungie to do it?
I mean, what's the benefit of the Red War sitting in a vault somewhere?
Oh, I agree. I don't think that that's the question. I don't think that the question is, should we have a content vault, and why did things that we pay for go away?
Right.
And there's reasons for that. Some of it is valid reasons. Some of it is maybe, again, behind the scenes greed shit. But I don't know, man. I'm torn on this, Gator, because it's the same amount of money, but for some reason, buying a base game and then deciding what
you're talking about, the commitment
what seasons I want to buy is way easier.
I got you.
Than someone saying, do you want to play this game? It's $10 a month, because if they go subscription, it's going to be $10 a month or $100 a year.
Right.
So you can either pay $120 total each month for the year, or you can pay $100 right up front.
I mean, that's the way all the apps work.
Yeah, and then we're back to the same situation that we're in right now.
Well, at least
you buy the expansion, and then you buy the seasons and dungeons as they come out, and you're probably going to be around $100 a year.
Yeah, but at least the option's there, is what I'm saying. At least the option is there, and it appeals to more people, especially people who want to try it.
I think you make a good point, though. I do think that there is something to be said where if you're only paying a subscription-based fee, then maybe you are more open to microtransactions. It's the same amount of money in the end. But I also wonder, like, how many people are never going to touch it because they don't want to pay the subscription fee?
I mean,
like, I don't know, man. Like, if someone was like, hey, man, do you want to get the new Call of Duty? It's $10 a month.
Versus $70 that I paid for, or I got it as a gift, but I think it was $70, $69.99.
Yeah. And then I think that Battle Pass is like $30, so you pay $100, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But for some reason, and I think maybe it's because I just grew up with games, and it's you buy the game and then you buy the DLCs. Right. The subscription thing, I think, would honestly turn me away. Like, I'm open to playing the finals. Yeah, and I think, again, it's like what I'm used to. So like, maybe it changes, right? Maybe I end up liking it. But if someone's like, you want to play this free to play game? I'm at no losses there.
Right.
Sure, I'll download it and play it, right? Someone's like, this game is coming out. Do you want to play it? Well, I know that I only have a limited amount of time to play video games. So I'm only going to invest in a game if my friends are going there. Yeah. And I think that my friends are going to play for an extended period of time.
And there it goes back to the community aspect.
Yeah, and it does. It really does. And it's so funny, though, because subscription is totally, like, in our made-up scenario, the same amount of money, but still, like, If someone's like, you want to play this game for $10 a month, it's like, sure. Okay, we're also going to get this game for $10 a month. Okay, now it's $20 a month. We're also going to get this game. Okay, now I'm at 3 games this month and I'm paying $30 a month for it. So like it could get out of hand. I really think the answer is the PlayStation Plus, Xbox Game Pass subscription. I think that's where the smart move is. I think that and free to play that's an easier pill to swallow.
You know, and everybody thought that when Sony paid almost $4 billion for Bungie in part because of the live service gaming model or the expertise that they bring, you know, Xbox spent 20 times that acquiring all the studios. They just eliminated the middleman and they own all the publishing subsidiaries now. So they're basically, if they really follow this model, they may end up dominating the gaming industry. And I'm a PlayStation fanboy through and through. But Xbox has already spent 20 times what Sony spent on Bungie for the live service model. And what is everybody complaining about now? It's the live service. Everybody hates live service now. You mentioned live service on a game, and it's just a total turnoff for a lot of people.
What do you think that is, though? What about a live service as a turnoff?
I think it's the fact that you have to invest your time. I think time is the real expensive part here.
So the grindiness and the make you play every day FOMO is what people are getting sick of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Dude, I totally get that. Like, again, I'm a Destiny man through and through, but very much so, very noticeable in the last like 2 or 3 months. I have taken the approach of I'm not having fun, so I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that sign in every day, I think that's going to burn people out eventually. I mean, we see it burn people out all the time with Destiny, and they either leave permanently or they go play something else for a few weeks or months, and then they come back and they're like, it's the best game ever.
But do other games do it too? Does Call of Duty offer like special things to complete for the week or something? Or it's the finals. They probably all do that stuff, don't they? A little bit.
Yeah. So Call of Duty does all sorts of stuff. You have your battle pass that's consistently going, just like the Destiny thing, right? And you unlock things and gear and weapons and cosmetics, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
They have events, like they just did the Santa event, and they had special zombies, they had special levels, they had special game modes.
Nice.
Infected came back, all that stuff.
Nice.
And then that went away, and then now there's another brand new mode out. And again, more maps, special weapons, so they're constantly bringing in new modes and stuff like that. There's daily challenges to unlock things. There's weekly challenges, and every week you can unlock attachments and camos. Right. And then at the end of the 4 to 6 weeks, at the end of that, if you unlock all of them, then you get another special camo.
Oh, wow.
So like a mini season. I think...
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that if anything, Call of Duty is blowing me away with the amount of content that they put out. Okay. And that's on top of their giant store. That's just what you get for the paid game.
Here is my wild speculation, and I haven't done one in a while, so why not? Let's throw one out there, right?
Yeah, I like this.
I think 2024 is going to be the year of subscriptions. I mean, we're already doing it. I have Netflix. I have Prime. Yes, it's free as part of Prime, but I'm paying for Prime. You're paying for it. Yeah. It's just built in. It's padded in. I've got Paramount Plus. I play the $5 a month for Peacock, even though I hardly watch it. A couple shows in there. Hulu, Disney, ESPN Plus, all packaged together. Maybe not so much now. I think ESPN broke off agreements or something. But think about this. You just bought a new car, right?
Yep.
You want that live roadside assistance service? Got to pay a subscription. Do you want that you want that satellite radio? Got to pay a subscription.
Well, what's fucked up is they tie the OnStar in with my remote start on my cell phone.
They're smart.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Because it's cool because the car has satellite connectivity.
Right.
So the car doesn't need a cell phone signal to start. But my phone needs a cell phone signal to start it. So if you're out in the woods and there's no cell phone signals, you can't remote start your car in the winter.
Uh-oh.
Anyways, subscription though. Like it was like spend 3 years on this and this is the part of the car is unlocked. So
well, You're probably familiar with this app. MyFitnessPal is sub only now. You have to have a subscription to use it.
Yeah. Well, it's Strava too. Like Strava has a free version, but they lock all the good stuff behind the subscription, and then they constantly pester you with it.
Think about it though. If you're a company, Fluffy, you're company A, and you have a total subscription service, you can relatively forecast your sales in the future. As long as you're producing the product, you're making your customers happy. I do subscription services. People pay me every month or every 2 months for me to come out every time and take care of their pest problems, right?
Yeah.
I can predict my monies that I bring in every month from my routes that my guys are running and my private route that I'm running. I can project my income for the month, not far from each other, because it's a subscription model and people are already used to doing that anyway. I mean, people want ease. They want simplicity. They don't want me to come in and say, well, it's going to cost this much to get started. But once you get started, then, you just call me and it's just going to be a massive amount of money whenever you have a problem. People don't want that. At least they don't in Florida, because it's always a problem here. I mean, people either have ants or roaches or spiders or, sorry, I know it's a sore subject. Different things, different pest problems in Florida. So people would rather me just take care of, what I do is I take care of all those pests. I know I'm not breaking it apart, Shadowkeep, Forsaken. No, I'll take care of your spiders, your ants, your fire ants in your yard. I'll take care of it all for one monthly payment. And I've done very well doing it that way for 9 years now.
But they get that from us. Every 3 months we pay a subscription.
We have to pay a subscription now just to play online on PlayStation. Steam's not far away. I hate to tell you, buddy, Steam is going to have a subscription model soon. They're going to have an Xbox Game Pass. It's coming, man.
They might have a Game Pass. I don't think they'll do an online subscription because people just go to Epic.
Okay. Epic's got a lot of money right now. But
dude, and you go to Epic and everything's free.
Wow.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy, like how many free games you can play.
First few are free, right? First taste is free.
Well, no, man, it's cosmetics. They figured it out,
Yes.
But I mean, here's the thing. Like, to my point, like, we're not paying a monthly subscription, but we're paying a quarterly subscription for Destiny.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay it, but the seasons in the past, like,
true.
They're gonna throw it in your face every time you log on.
Yep.
Hey, you got this engram, and these other 5 things would have been yours as well if you would have bought this.
It's funny.
Call of Duty is horrible about that.
Yes.
Before I had the Battle Pass, every multiplayer game that I ended, the very first splash screen was, this is what you would have earned in the Battle Pass. Every single game. This is what you don't have, but you earned it.
That's devious.
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, it's that humans are stupid, man, and they're very good at, like, manipulating us, right?
Yes.
So, like, here's everything that you earned, but you didn't pay for it, so hit skip, poor boy, and go on to the next thing,
Yeah.
It is so, like, I don't know, man.
I was on one of my alt accounts, and I was trying to get the Truth Rocket. I think it was a Truth Rocket out of the main vault at the, where you can get the lost exotics. I made a video on it. You think I know the name of it? Anyway, I go there and I click on it. It says, well, it requires the Forsaken season. Yeah. I'm like, what? I'm supposed to come here to get all the exotics. See, what I didn't realize when I made the video, I had bought all the expansions. It never showed up for me, but I came in with an alt character. Think I can just grab a Truth Rocket, right? And go ahead and just pay the money, pay the whatever legendary shards and garbage that I had to pay and all the glimmer.
Yeah.
And then I clicked on it. I finally got all the materials to line up, and I hit acquire, and then that message pops up. I'm like, you son of a bitch. So yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's, we don't see that because we just buy it all. We're all in, man. We have all the expansions and stuff.
Real quick, man, you made me think of something. With everything that Destiny has, you went to go buy the Truth Rocket. You couldn't because you didn't have that expansion.
Yep.
Does that matter? Is there not, like, let's say you just bought the most recent content.
Right.
And the most recent season.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get the Truth Rocket, right?
Nope.
Can't get Galahorn.
Nope.
Right? You don't have either of those.
Can't run the dungeon because it's part of the 20th anniversary pack.
What dungeon? The
Grass of Avarice.
Yeah, but right, you can't get that stuff. You can't get those exotics, right?
Right.
Can't get them. You can see them, can't touch them. But in the overall gameplay of Destiny, there are rockets that you can get, and they're craftable rockets that you can get. So do you really need to buy that old shit?
Well,
I mean, truth kind of sucks anyways, right?
This is what people would tell us. Well, you guys, you know this. The new player doesn't know this. They don't know there's a craftable rocket.
No, but I get that. But I guess what I'm saying is you don't need that stuff. Like if someone's choosing to purchase $400 worth of DLCs, they're making an uneducated purchase, and a fool is easily parted with their money.
True.
You know, you buy the most current stuff and you start playing it. And if you decide you want to go back and play old stuff or get old stuff, you can.
Right.
But I think if you actually played it, you would find out, hey, like, I can't get this, but there's like literally 100 other guns over here to the left that I can play with that will also kill things when I pull the trigger.
I get it, man. I mean, I'm hoping that the new player even knows there's craftable weapons out there, and that's where they have to go to YouTube and find out these things. We can't make them do that, and there's no information in the game that explains that to them. Going back to the crappy way they introduce people, why would they shoot themselves in the foot?
You know what though? Maybe it's so they can push people to your YouTube channel.
It's all about me, man. Come to my YouTube channel. Todd the Gator on YouTube.
The community in general, we have a really shitty new player experience because we want to push our content creators' content.
Dude, you know what? You say that in jest, but you're half right. Bungie relies on their YouTube community to educate people about their game. And they get paid for it. They get the ad views, they get the views. So everybody's happy, right? So maybe that's why sometimes when the bigger YouTubers complain about something in the game that it might get changed. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not just throwing that out there.
Well, dude, and look at like how much worse is this game without the community? Like imagine no dim, no Destiny recipes, no Destiny armor picker. Like all of a sudden build crafting, what the game is made for, all these tools are stripped away from you and you lose all that knowledge base. And
zero of this is available in the game too, to boot.
Yeah, and you don't have Destiny Foundry. You don't have a way to put on perks and see what TTKs change and, you know, like what they actually do. So like, we just have a weird situation in a weird community. And really the game is really good. A lot of it's made better or successful because of the shit that people have made to make it a better, more manageable game, right?
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, this is Sin from the Guardian Hub Podcast, the best hub on the net. And you're listening to the Guardian Downcast, the best cast on the net.
Yeah, I'll Venmo you that later. I'll end with one more topic here.
Okay.
And it's related to the subscription model. I think the reason I say that 2024 is going to be the year of subscription models. What happened this year? Last year, we had the best available games that came out. I would say the best year of new games. Would you agree?
I mean, I didn't play them, but I've heard that.
We're probably not the ones to ask this question because we just play Destiny.
I've heard podcasters say that, yeah.
But I've heard other people say this was the greatest year in gaming in a long time. Yeah. A lot of people keep reiterating that point. Yeah. So if that's the case, everybody's making money. Games are selling like hotcakes. People are loving what's going on in the gaming industry. Why have over 9,000 people been laid off?
Well, I think that there's a lot of things to look at there.
I agree.
There's so many variables.
I'm sorry. That was very loaded. I apologize.
No. I understand where you're coming from, though. Like, if it has been a year of great games being released, why have there been cuts? Well, I think I think part of that's economy, right?
Yes. And
like part of that is outside of gaming in general.
Very
like,
true.
It just like shit that goes on that has nothing to do with gaming impacts it.
But I'm not to interrupt, but I will argue that the COVID era was the best thing for gaming because everyone stayed at home.
I agree. I think there's things that you can definitely look at.
Mm-hmm.
How much money does your average game dev or your average tester make, and how much does management and the CEO make? Who's making $1 million bonuses and who's not making any bonuses and working 80 hours a week, right? So you have these people at the top who always need more money, right? Like I can't be making millions less than the other game developer guy over there, right? Because like I'm more important. I'm a bigger deal. So money always has to be going up. Shareholders need to be getting richer, right? So how do you make shareholders richer? You fire people. You fire people and make other people work more hours. You give them more work to do. You've just increased your profit tenfold. It's easy. Let's fire people and put more burden on other people, or ship their jobs somewhere where we can pay people less.
Happens
like that's unfortunate. That's unfortunately the world that we live in.
Yep.
So that's one big aspect of it. I think a lot of that is just meeting standards and things that are set. And let's be honest, you need a certain amount of money to make a business run. But also like there's a lot of excess. I understand that you need a certain amount of money to make a business run, but you can't tell me that people aren't being greedy and that people aren't making way more money than they need to. So that's huge. People, if CEOs took a realistic pay cut, and actually distributed that wealth, like it's insane, man. The amount of money.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
it's
you have that, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I follow.
Okay. How about, and I hate to say this because I'm for this, but I think that the work environments too are pretty awesome. And that costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to have rad coffee makers, and it costs a lot of money to have recreational shit in your building, to have good food, to have a fucking lounge area, to have all this stuff. It costs money. I am of the belief that a positive work environment and happy workers make your best product.
Yes.
And you need to invest in that. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't invest in that, but I do think that they were fun places to work, and that shit costs money. You have a business where you want to keep people happy, you want to be fun and engaging and all this shit. And a lot of times you find that some of these businesses that have that stuff also expect their employees to work 80, 90-hour weeks. They expect them to sleep in the office. Like, I have family that worked at Activision here in Minnesota, and I asked them about getting a job there, and they're like, well, the job that I can get you, the people often sleep in the office when a game's coming out.
I have a relative that works for EA. I hear the same things.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck that. I got kids. Like, I don't need that much money.
Okay, I'm following you.
So yeah, man. I think there's a lot of variables that you have to look at, but in the end, like, I think people get fired because, like, it's a lot of it's fucking greed. A lot of it's made up projections. A lot of it's, hey, we made $20 last quarter. We need to make $40 this quarter. When in reality, $25 probably would be fine. And hell, even if you made $20 again, you'd probably be okay. Right?
Right.
But that's not the expectation that we have shown in the business world in the last, 20 years. Right? So I think, I don't know, dude, that's my take.
No, those are all, though I agree with all those points. They're very valid points. Here's the reason I think it's the year of subscriptions and beyond. Let's take Netflix for an example, right?
Yeah.
They have some really shitty dud movies, right? There's some movies you'll watch and go, what were they thinking when they made this stupid ass movie? Then you'll watch movies that are like The Crown. I can't put that show down, man. My wife we're glued to this. Every night we try to watch an episode. We missed a few nights, but it's enthralling. And you can tell they invested a lot of money in the sets, everything, a lot of money involved. It's a heavy hitter, right? But because they're on a subscription model, they can manage their risk a lot easier versus if The Crown and 2 or 3 other giant productions were all that was available. Okay, keep that in mind. Now let's go to a gaming studio. Bungie. They have one IP, Destiny 2. Destiny doesn't count. It's gone. It's here and gone. Yes, you can play it, but they have Destiny 2. But what else do they have to spread that risk out? They got nothing else, man. I mean, they're paying people hundreds of millions of dollars a year in the hope that Marathon will be a great selling game and that it succeeds.
And some stuff we don't know about, right?
Oh, and other things we don't even know about. Yes.
Yeah.
But they're not making any money on that stuff. So it is all on Destiny right now. Destiny 2 is the horse that's carrying Bungie on its back. Did I say that right? I don't know.
But do we know that Destiny is funding that, or is Destiny funding Destiny? Because I know that they all pool into Bungie, but do you think that they would start developing a new game without having funds set aside for it?
Oh, Destiny is the cash cow. They're the ones that bring in. They're the only income engine for Bungie right now.
No, I get that. Yeah. But don't you think that they already had the income?
Maybe.
Like you wouldn't just sit down and be like, let's start making a game and hope that
absolutely.
Hope that money comes in the door, right?
Sure, they had budgets. Yeah, I'm sure they had. I'm sure they had bins. They put the money in preparing for it. But let's remember, they're getting rid of knitting classes and gift cards for birthdays. I was telling my wife this stuff, and she's like, how petty. They're not saving a lot of money doing knitting classes every 2 months instead of every week or whatever. So that doesn't cost much money to make. I said, well, that's how tight it is right now. And, we can say it's projections. We can say Sony's holding their feet to the fire. Whatever the reason, you can't escape it that Destiny 2 is the only thing that's going to keep Bungie afloat right now. And they have to invest the time. But I'm not knocking Bungie. I swear I'm not. What I'm trying to explain is what if, and this is, I really am fearful this might happen. There were 3 big companies out there that owned all the studios. And instead of each studio producing one product that they really hope, that movie that they hope better make $1 billion at the box office because they spent $200 million making it. Instead of doing that, the company eliminates the publisher and just produces and has all these studios working for them, producing really great games. And if a game doesn't do as hot as they thought, then it's just sunk costs and it's absorbed back into the amalgamation, right? That's what Netflix does. Why would Xbox Game Pass be any different? Why would Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo be those big 3 gaming companies that own all of these subsidiary gaming developing studios and totally eliminate the publisher altogether and just produce all these games, spread the risk, have a pool of money that's brought in and remember I went back to telling you or explaining to you that because I offer a subscription service in my own business, I can forecast pretty reliably what my future income is going to be for the year based on, let's just say, a break-even analysis of as I lose customers, I gain customers. As if you lose a subscriber because they didn't like that one game you put out, but you gain 5 more because of a new game that just came out. I guess I'm trying to explain it. My point is, and I'm kind of worried about this, is that the gaming subscription services, I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg right now, dude. I really do. I think Sony has the Sony, I'm subscribed to it. I pay $130 a year for it. It's one to be online, but it's also to play all these games. Now, granted, they're not giving me the new games for free. I mean, I got Baldur's Gate on a 90-day, or what is it, a 90-hour trial because I'm a member, but I still have to buy the game if I want to buy the game. But what I'm worried about here is if we all know we don't really own games anymore. I mean, I put this Call of Duty game into the PS5 and install it, if those servers go offline eventually because Modern Warfare 3 is not being supported anymore, that disc is as well as a toilet decoration. It's useless. I might as well just take it out of my PlayStation.
Yeah.
But that's my fear. My fear is that the gaming industry is in flux right now, and I think a lot of the gaming developers are getting swallowed up by these big companies. And these big companies are producing these gaming subscriptions that cover a bunch of games, like Netflix. Cover all the movies, right? All these different movies and TV shows and game shows. And I just watched the latest Squid Game. It's a reality series now. Awesome series. It was so much fun to watch. But I would hesitate to say that the part of that $24 a month that I pay for my Netflix, I think $1.50 of it probably went to that Squid game or show. I don't know. I'm running in circles a little bit here, but
no, I'm just
curious what you think about that wild speculation. You know, I got to put those out every day.
I don't think Bungie can do subscription as successful as Netflix because I think the numbers are different.
And they only have one product.
But I think that's just we're looking at it differently again. I think it's apples to oranges. I think Netflix can get away with $20, $25 a month because of the millions of people that subscribe.
Right.
That Destiny doesn't have access to those numbers. So I don't think that Netflix gets rid of the publishing companies. I think Netflix just has one name. Like, the people who make The Crown is a different group or company than the people who make the Extraction movies versus the people who make the Adam Sandler movies. It's not the same people. Probably not the same buildings.
Okay, I understand.
Probably not the same locations, right?
You're right.
So, like,
it still is quite independent then, isn't it?
Yeah, so like Bungie in this subscription base, I think it would make sense to go to like an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Steam or whatever and do it that way because you still are going to have your group that specializes in whatever that content is. Like, I'm sure Netflix has some sort of crossover with HR and other stuff like that, right? But you still want your specific people, you know, your director for one thing is your director for that thing until that project is over. And I think that's how you would have to do gaming too. And whether you just call it Xbox games or whether it still has a Bungie name on it, you still have the same amount of people in general working on that product and pushing that product, right?
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad idea, dude. I think subscription gaming is amazing. I wish I played more games and would take advantage of it. I've purchased Xbox Game Pass for my family twice now and canceled it both times because I don't play it. I can't justify owning it. Yeah, I loved it and I enjoyed the few games that I played with it. But I just play Destiny way too much. I play what my friends are playing, right?
Yeah.
And that's a limited time thing. But I bought it for my kids. Like, I bought it and I tried to get them to just to show them, just be like, dude, we can play anything. I will sit down with you, look at all these games. Let's download it. Let's try it. If we hate it, you know what? We delete it and play a different game. And I think that's rad. And they didn't latch onto that.
Really?
And then maybe it's an age thing. Maybe they will next year.
Could be.
You know, whatever. But I'm all about them. I think that they're amazing for the consumer.
What do you think? If it came down to the big three, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, let's just say I'm right. In the future, all three of those big giant companies control all the gaming, all the releases.
No, I don't think they have the same hold anymore. I think that PC is a huge player now, because PC gives you. I mean, so many more people, I think, are transitioning to PC because you have the access of everything a PC brings. You have, easy Discord, easy Twitch, like you can multitask.
But you still have to go to a launcher. You still have to go through a hub.
Steam, Battle.net, Epic, whatever it is.
What if Sony bought Steam tomorrow?
Well, sure. I mean, they could, but I don't see Sony. I mean, I don't see Sony trying to go buy Fortnite, right?
I don't think. Maybe they probably got the money, but I mean, Microsoft has more money, I would think. But
yeah, okay, Microsoft. I mean, they're giants. Like, we can agree they've been around for like 45 years, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think that I think that there's so many players that are coming onto the scene now.
Right.
I think it's going to, I guess my point was, I think that those three will be around, but I don't think that it's only those three like it was 10, 15 years ago.
I hope you're right. Right.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Because like back, early 2000s, you were limited on your choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, PC games existed, but PCs were not what they are today.
Right.
Online communities are not like they were today. Your experience gaming is, you have so many more tools to you outside of Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And those, it's weird, man, because it's like also a giant investment. I mean, a smart person, unlike myself, dude, $200 and you can get basically a super rad computer that has an Xbox logo on it and play all the games you want, and they work great. Like it's great. It's a great money to time investment for you. But I think that just the world in general is changing. So I think that they're losing their big fish stronghold on the gaming industry because of things like Steam and Epic.
Interesting. So if just say Sony did buy Steam, would you be out? Where else could you go to play? I don't know. Let's just say XCOM. Is there anywhere else you can go to launch that game?
I don't know. I know a lot of games launch on Steam and Epic now.
Epic, but those are the only two. Only two. I mean, for the most part. Or I'm sure there's some EA online, or I'm sure there's Activision, Battle.net, right?
Yeah,
but
so there's other things, but yeah,
I could see those merging though. I mean, Xbox owns Battle.net now, dude. Think about it. They own Battle.net.
Yeah, but how many Battle.net games do we? Well, I mean, again, we're a bad example because we just play Destiny too much, so we don't really have a grasp.
All I can do is throw it out there and hope that something grabs. I know, man. Yeah. I know. I made a video about this a long time ago that I was worried. I was worried that if Xbox buys all the games, all the studios, that they would have all the control to keep the game on and offer it, and then at any time they can just take it away. And then I got to thinking about it. This disc I bought for Modern Warfare 3, it's the same thing. If the servers aren't there to support it, I don't have a game. I might be able to play the campaign. I think I still got to log in for that.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of those games require you to log on.
See, that's it. It's all that way now. The companies have all the control, but I guess my point was, if you're XYZ developer out there and you put a game out that didn't do as well as they thought and the community didn't grab hold, that if you were part of a larger conglomeration of studios that were under, say, Xbox, that you would still be there and maybe you would be on to the next game. And Netflix does have their own shows too. I mean, look at all the comedy specials they have out. The latest, Mike Birbiglia that's a Netflix. Netflix made it. They recorded it. They distributed it, and it's only on Netflix. But you're right though. The Crown is a bad example because that was all funded by Netflix as well. But there's shows that they buy from. If you notice, some of these shows will go from Prime over to Netflix, and Netflix over to Prime, and whatever else is out there. I mean, I think Yellowstone has passed hands, I think 3 times. Now it's on network TV. They're showing it on network TV now, CBS. I don't know, man. I can't keep track, but I just wonder if 2024, if we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg as far as the Xbox, buying out Activision, Sony buying Bungie was really not that big a worry for me, but I just wonder how much further it's going to go. And maybe I'm just being hypochondriac here. I don't know.
No, I mean, but your concern is only related to online games, and there's a whole subset of gaming that doesn't touch at all. I mean, we look at like
PC, you mean?
No, I mean just in general, like in gaming in general. Like we look at like the dudes that were just on our show, T10 Gaming. They're retro gamers, man.
Right.
You can go buy a handheld and load up 100 or 1,000 ROMs on it, and it's like HD and like awesome, and they have achievements for them now. And you don't have to be online to play that. So
I get that.
If the 3 bought it and then they're like, nope, this game's not available anymore, like the consumer is just going to find other ways to play games. There's plenty of games that you don't need an online connection for, and there's plenty of independent studios.
Older games, I can, but any of the newer games, you have to be connected to the company. You have to be tethered to them.
But not all of them.
Really?
Only the ones that we are drawn to. But there's absolutely games that come out that you don't have to have online.
Okay.
But again, like down to my right, I have a couple of Xbox 360 games. I still have the CDs down there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going to play them. Like I have a Deadpool game that I just have because it didn't get a lot of distribution. Like there's not a lot of copies out there.
Right.
I know I'm never going to play that game again. Like I don't have an Xbox anymore. The you know what I mean? So like content does just go away, man.
Yeah, the movie that's at the theater goes to a streaming service and then eventually probably gets vaulted and then it comes back years and years later, just like Teenage Ninja Turtles, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Jeez,
well, you sell your PS4. What happens to all your PS4 games?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're in the cloud with PS5, with PlayStation Plus, but if you cancel PlayStation Plus, there goes your games.
Well,
it's like Apple. It's like Apple Cloud Services. It's like all this stuff. You're tethered to these companies, and you can't. If you let go, you lose all your pictures, use all your photos, man. They know they got you by the balls.
Well, that's why you back up your own photos.
I do that too, but yeah. Well, hey, man.
I feel you. I think we're on this similar page here, though, man.
Okay. I hope you're right in some respects because it does worry me a little bit. So, hey, good talk, man. Good talk. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. All right, Mr. Fudd, play that intro music.
Listen to the Guardian Downcast. Oh, it's a playlist. Yes. Ooh. I've heard they've like won awards for it and such.
All right. Before we go tonight, we're going to pick some music for our award-winning Guardian Downcast show playlist. Thank you, Mr. Elmer Fudd. It's a little sample of what myself and FluffyFingersMD here like to listen to. And if you want to follow along and see what we're adding every week, just search for Guardian Downcast show playlist. It's on Spotify and, of course, Apple Music. The links will be down in our show description down below. We now have, brace yourself, Fluffy, 1,168 songs representing all of us and all of our past guests since July of 2019 when we started this podcast. So consider it like a time capsule and see if you can guess which ones added, who added what. That's always fun. I'll start with you, Fluffy. What are you adding for your song tonight, man?
All right. Well, this one came to me while we were doing family art night this week, and it was 100% inspired by my daughter. My wife and I have a blend on Spotify, so it blends your music together. So I put that on because it's like a mix of music that my wife and I like, and we make our kids listen to our music. That's just the way it's always been.
Love it.
So they know the songs too. So everyone in the family is doing art and they're singing to the songs. My family hums and sings while they work. Like they're just, I don't know. And that's cool because I love music. So, everyone's just humming, singing, doing their art, painting, drawing, whatever they're doing. And the song comes on and it's Violent Femmes, Blister in the Sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good oldie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with it. And I'm sitting there drawing and I'm hearing my youngest kid jamming out as she is drawing. And she's drawing and she is singing the words. Not correctly, which is even funnier because she's singing the words, but a couple of the words are wrong, which I'm okay with because I know what the song is about. But I had to laugh. I started to just laugh internally, not to embarrass my child. But I'm hearing her sing this semi-correctly, and I'm drawing, and I'm just okay, I kind of love this because this kid loves this song. It's a catchy song. But she doesn't love it because she understands the song. She loves it because it's a good song. She loves the music of the song. She loves the chorus and the vocals and just how it all comes together. And she's repeating that part of it and has no idea that the song is about masturbation. And I'm okay, Like, this is hilarious because she is rocking out just like when I was a kid and I first heard this song and I was singing it and I had no idea what the song was about. And I knew the lyrics and I'm singing all the lyrics and like never make the connection in my head what he's actually singing about. You know, it's just let me go on, you know, like it's just like rocking that out, right?
Uh-huh.
And so we were drawing and I was purposely listening for songs to put on the playlist Gator. And then like this moment happened and I'm like, okay. I'm like, Blister in the song is a great song. And this moment was just so excellent. Like, this is a song that's going on the playlist.
I like it.
So
great song. I didn't watch it. I didn't listen to a ton of Violent Femmes, but I know that song. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, the song I chose tonight, if you missed it, last week's episode, like I mentioned with Mr. Native Radio, we listed our top 10s. One of our top 10s we listed was movies, what we loved and we watched, kind of our favorites of 2023. And while I listed John Wick Chapter 4 as my number one, my truly most surprising movie of the year, and Fluffy, I highly recommend this, dude. It'll change your life watching this movie. My number two was an independent film called Inside, which, like I said last week, is Willem Dafoe's best acting of his career so far. I also mentioned that the song was played, the song that plays out at the movie at the end. I can still remember that song. Every time I hear this song, I remember the ending scene of this movie. They couldn't have crafted these two images together in this song better than anything else I've ever heard. And the song that played out on that movie was called the Pyramid Song, and it was from a little group called Radiohead. So that's my pick tonight. I really hope you guys check out the movie Inside. I don't get anything for it. I just love movies, and I love movies that are good. Yes.
Oh, you're good. I was going to try and show you that it's on my list of movies to watch.
I'm telling you, dude, I watched this at the theater, not thinking anything about it. I'm thinking, this is okay. An art thief. This sounds boring as hell. I just found out it is on Amazon Prime Video right now. So check it out. More importantly, I want you guys to let me know what you think about it and see if it stunned you like it did me. But that was the most surprising movie of the year for me. And I know people are ragging me about John Wick, but hey, man, it's John Wick. And there was a ton of independent movies this year, but the Inside was just phenomenal. I can't even explain it. What this guy went through. Anyway, watch the film and let me know what you think.
I have 7 movies and shows from last week's episode on my list.
I love it.
With notes for things that I need to watch when I'm like, what should I watch?
And other than one show, Native and I had totally different views on everything, which I love, because that's why I wanted him to do it with me, because we have very different tastes when it comes to stuff, but we always come together on Star Wars. Hey Guardians, would you like to give back to our community? If you received any value from today's podcast episode and would like to give back, head over to our website, GuardianDowncast.com, and select the Patreon button to see what extra perks and benefits you can get from the several tiers of membership available. If you would like to give a one-time donation, click on our PayPal button and follow the prompts. Our community runs on our membership, and we never accept outside sponsors or advertisers. We're Guardian Downcast. Your stories, your community, your destiny. I wanted to thank all of the patrons of the show, and we have a new patron that just renewed, Mr. Coderson. Thank you, sir, for renewing your pledge. A shout out to our Dungeon Champion patrons. That's Rafi, Smiter, Technical, Wicked Trinity, Deadpool 1 Merc, and Jack 4 gigabyte kill. I keep thinking gigabit, thinking internet. I don't know why I do that. Thank you to our Raid Boss patrons. This is our highest tier. It's Jealous, Frostbite, TL Tim. Damn, I just gave him one for free. Sorry, Laz. Amazing Taco King, Sith Daddy Fresh, and Nico, aka Jersey. Thank you, gentlemen, for giving back to our show and community. Couple of things I am working on for patron videos. I always have the monthly patron episode that I put out. I love doing those. They're a lot of fun. It's behind the scenes of everything that goes on in our shows. But I have a couple videos I'm working on because Patreon now allows me to upload videos like YouTube. So I've been working on a couple videos. I just finished what I needed to get done on my one video. And I'll let you know as soon as I get something closer to that. But here's what I want to announce tonight. And Fluffy does not even know about this.
I'm excited.
I'm announcing a GDC Roundtable Edition. As I mentioned in the previous episode, I've been wanting to try out some new things for 2024 with the show. And I wanted to announce my first idea is going to be coming very soon. I love interviewing guests and hearing their gaming stories, but I want to try out a different form of Guardian Downcast, especially since, let's face it, Bungie's got a little bit of downtime until final shape in about 6 months as of today's date. So I'm really excited to try this out, but I need your help to make it happen. Starting soon, I'm going to have a GDC, a Guardian Downcast Roundtable Edition episode. And here's how it's going to work. Myself and possibly a guest co-host, hint, hint, looking over at Fluffy, will choose one topic each that they want to discuss on the show. It could be related to gaming, entertainment, YouTube or Twitch culture, even social media if you want to bring that in. These are going to be actual articles that have a source, or you can base it on an article that you may have read and you want to talk or expand on. Here's the kicker, though. We're also going to invite up to 2 additional listeners or community members that have a topic of choice that they want to talk about on the roundtable. So possibly we could be talking about 4 topics on one show. Just something different I want to try. And I really need some feedback once you guys, once we release our first episode. I need you to give me some feedback and let me know if this is something you want to hear more of. Now, if you want to be on the roundtable show, then here's what you got to do to get considered. I'll have a special channel under our podcast section labeled Submit Your Story, whereby you'll submit either an article or story from an outside source, or it can be something you've wanted to talk about. And you'll just need to provide some context so that we know what you're talking about and we can do some prep on it. Another way to submit your story is by emailing me at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or simple enough, just go to our website, guardiandowncast.com, hit contact us, or you can send us a voicemail. So let's hear your topics and you might get a chance to be on the show. I'm recording the first episode very soon, so don't wait. Get on it if you want to talk with us. If you make it on our show, you'll also receive a possible parting gift. Just up the ante a little bit. So let's do it. Hey, I want to give a shout out to our moderation team before we leave tonight. Shout out to these people who donate their time to run our community. Because let's face it, I can't be here all the time. I can't run things all the time. So these great people donate their time every week. And that is Mr. RNG Gator, Admiral Nips, Warcry, Jealous, Chubby Wizard, Mr. Monkey, Commando, Hades, Hammer Crasher 32 with those great hammer times, Brittany, Heyoka, Scarlet KM, Ronin Red Lion, and Mr. Sin Media. Thanks to everyone in the moderation team that helps us out in the Discord. And if you ever want to ask someone a question, just at moderation or at moderator or at any of these people I just mentioned, and they'll be sure to help you out.
And guys, I know that it would be really important to him. So very specifically, you have my blessing to tag Admiral Nips with any questions that you have about Destiny. He loves doing that, and he has so much time on his hands these days. So really get him involved. He will appreciate it.
He was just telling me the other day that no one messages him anymore. No one ats him in Discord anymore.
He's a sad panda, guys. He needs your help. He needs your questions. Panda. He wants nothing more. And if you have drama, he loves drama.
He does.
he feeds off of it in the best way.
Oh my God. Well, before we go tonight, we don't have a Scum Desk Corner this week, but I've got a couple people that sent in some speak pipes, and I want to play them here before we go. The first one is from, Hammer Crasher 32 himself. So I don't know what this is about. I haven't heard it, but I heard something about it was a complaint. That's all I heard. So,
all right.
Hammer Crasher, you have the floor. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey guys, Hammer Crasher 32 here. I have a bit of a complaint. I played a whole lot of Dawning and made a lot of cookies, delivered a lot of cookies, and focused a shit ton of engrams. Maybe, I think it's upwards of 50 engrams. Trying to get a glacioclasm with successful warm-up and under pressure. After delivering all the cookies, focusing all the engrams, I still did not get the roll I was looking for. please let me know how RNG is better than crafting. That's what I want to know. How is RNG? How's RNG? I guess it kept me playing, but I really would have been playing anyway because I would have been playing with that gun that I just got. Anyway, I'm a bit perturbed about not getting the roll I wanted after 50 focused engrams. All right, see you guys later.
By the way, to focus those engrams, you had to get a gift in return, and I farmed the hell out of this event, and I didn't get the roll I wanted either, and I rolled several of them as well. What do you think? What's your take on crafting versus RNG?
We need to address Glacio. You were not alone, my friend. Everyone in LEGO's Discord was going for PvP rolls for that weapon, and a very few were successful. And I think a lot of people did a lot of grinding. So I don't think that you're alone in that. I think a lot of people got the same result that you did. And unfortunately, you did exactly what Bungie wanted you to do. So you proved to them that that was worth your time, and that is how they should model the event next year. Something to think about. Okay,
Wow.
So, yeah, right? Okay, so is RNG better than crafting? I don't think so. Is crafting the right option and RNG should go away? I also don't think so. I think you need both. I think it's cool to be able to craft a weapon, assuming that you can get the deep sights to craft it. Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, I am not one to grind for things I don't want to grind for. I have so many weapons that are partially unlocked.
Mm-hmm. Me too. With you.
I have that Techion that I went and got from Last Wish because LEGO said it was good, right? Mm-hmm. I spent a day or two in Cali, 1 minute farms. You literally spawn in and you drop down and you kill her in a minute. And you do that over and over again for a couple hours. And I did that and I got the weapon, and it was kind of RNG to get the weapon, right? Like I had to do that so many times to get my Apex Predator, to get my Fusion, to do all that. And so you're grinding either way, I think. Whether it's RNG or crafting, I think Bungie has it built so we're grinding either way. But I do think you need a mix of both. There's something special about chasing or getting a roll for RNG, maybe. There's something really horrible about chasing it and not getting it. I feel your pain, man. I wanted a perfect Exalted Truth. Every time it was the Adept weapon, I was out of town for the first 2 or 3 seasons. So what I did was I just played a ton of trials by myself one season. And one season I reset my trials rank 26 times. That's 26 times that I hit max rank and reset it. And I focused every engram, I think, except 4 or 5 on that weapon. And I never got the roll I wanted. That's an entire season. Like, I would have engrams sitting at same 14, and I would be out of legendary shards consistently. And as soon as I had 50, I would go focus another one. And then I'd do other stuff, and as soon as I had 50, I'd go focus another one. So I get it, man. I think you just need to ask yourself, like, it's your time to play the game. What do you want? Do you want to enjoy it and have fun? Do you want that weapon? Then maybe chasing that weapon is fun for you. But you're ultimately the one deciding what you're doing with your time.
This reminds me of the Grasp of Malak farm that I killed myself on. What was that? The Will of Crota strike, I think it was?
Yeah, it was the one where she screams at you. Omnigul, right?
Omnigul, yes. And I remember I found 3 people finally that wanted to farm it because it was only matchmaking. That, and I wasn't a part of community back then in Destiny 1. Not a real tight community. So it's not like I could go and say, hey, I'm farming Grasp Malak. Anybody want to come with me? But I did get a halfway decent one that I still had fun with in the Crucible, but never got the God roll that I wanted. Never got it. So those were Destiny 1 years. So I feel you, man. I do. I didn't get the roll either, by the way. I farmed several engrams. I didn't get it either. So I guess versus, like Fluffy said, getting the red border weapons is kind of RNG too. I mean, yeah, you can do stuff on the seasonal trees to make sure you get one guaranteed a week. But other than that, it's all RNG. So
yeah, raid weapons and dungeons and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think, you kind of nailed it, Fluffy. I mean, you're going to grind either way, and it's just sad that all that time you put in, that hopefully you got more out of it than just a failed farm. Hopefully you got some fun doing it, but I feel you, man.
I mean, that's the whole point of that event. The entire point of that event is to grind the shit out of the event for the weapon, right?
Well, I ground the shit out of it to get the memento. Remember, you had to get that one triumph done.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
That was not easy. I put it on my Amit AR2. It looks like crap. I said, why are you going to make me work so hard for a memento and it not even look better than a basic shader on it? I don't know what they were thinking. I said this last week, so I won't get into it again, but I mean, the mementos are smart because it's a very special time limited thing you can get for your weapon, and only on crafted weapons too. So there's more of a case for crafted weapons, but yeah, I mean, it didn't look good. So guess how many more I got? How many more did I try to farm? 0.
Yeah.
So our attorney Laz, our space attorney Laz, found out that you were on the show this week, and I think he was on the highway driving when he sent this in, but he sent it to me right away. So I legally have to play this every show he puts one in. So here is Laz.
Yes. Hello, Guardian Downcast. It's your space lawyer. You've got FluffyFingersMD, one FluffyFingersMD on the cast tonight. I must praise this gentleman. Do you want to know why? Because when I cashed his check, it didn't bounce. Unlike a lot of the other payments I've received, not just from yourself, Mr. Hostman, but from a lot of folks within the Discord who have rightfully paid what they should be paying. It's just, for some reason, they've all been bouncing. So props to Fluffy for paying it. I don't know if Nips was a part of that payment or not. I'm not privy to the inner workings of any of that, unfortunately. However, I have some other things I need to discuss. Mr. TL Tim, you've been told once, I'm telling you twice now, stop using single ply. You deserve better than single ply. We all deserve better than single ply. Just because it says septic safe on it doesn't mean that it's better for the environment or anything like that. Yes, it's better for your septic tank, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You get it. Anyways, it is the new year. It is 2024. Things aren't going to change. I know we wake up in 2024 and we go, we're going to have like resolutions. We're going to do things differently. That's not how we work in this law firm. We stick to the script. We do things the way we've always done them, because if it ain't broke, maybe look at fixing it, because probably something is broke and you're just not able to see it's broke. We all wear blinders, right? So, yeah. So I'm going to leave you guys with those brief notes. There isn't too much else in the Discord to have to talk about, although I do see there's yet another mod form coming in. They've filled out a mod form. I don't know. I'm very tired of these mod forms. It seems like everybody wants to be one. I think you might have more mods in your Discord than you do actual users, which obviously doesn't work in the long run. But that'll fall apart later on. That's the future. Worry about the present. It's fine. So this weekend coming up, lots of snow for us here in the Northeast. So I'm going to have to punch out here and make sure that I actually have working parts in my space snow thrower. I'm going to send it towards Pluto because nobody cares. It's not a planet. So until the next time, keep up the good work, and please try to stay in line. My phone can only take so much before the minutes are burned up. All right. Have a good night.
Awesome. Thanks, Laz. Appreciate that, man. Your checks are going through?
I got talking points. One, yes, our checks have been going through to Laz.
Okay.
What he doesn't know is that it's a front for money laundering, and he's going to take the fall. TL Tim, single ply toilet paper, when folded over, it becomes double ply. And we all know that you do it, so goddamn it, just use double ply or better. Because you're just using more single ply. It doesn't make any sense. It's the same amount of toilet paper. It's just, do you want your butt comfortable or do you want it scratchy? Come on, guy. I know you. I know you want a soft, nice butt. I mean, come on. Who doesn't? Laz, Pluto is a planet. It's fake news. It's out there. I've seen it with my own eyes. And then, and third, point E on the thing. I appreciate that this joke has been going on for 7 years.
Absolutely.
Because I'm pretty sure that we hired him for his first lawyer case, like within the first couple months of doing a podcast.
Yeah, and I approached him when things changed up in the Discord and the community, and he was like, "Hell yeah, dude, I'm there. I love it." I remember back when Steve had the one podcast where they'd have ads.
Barely a Destiny show.
It was barely a. It changed
barely
it, though.
A Destiny show,
but
and then they changed it to Bads.
That's it, Bads Clan, the Bads show, yeah.
Yep.
And I remember he used to do those ads, and I remember hearing our first ad for Guardian Downcast. I was like, did we just hear our name on the podcast? Yeah, so props to you, Laz. And I swear I had money. I swear those checks were valid, man. I don't know if someone's stealing my mail. I don't know what's going on, man, but I will certainly get to the bottom of that, sir. I will certainly get to the bottom.
We'll hook you up with our accountant, George. He'll get you the same
cool.
type of checks for Laz, yeah.
Oh, excellent. See, there you go, Laz. Problem solved. Mm-hmm. There we go.
Good, clean money off the beaches of Miami.
South Beach? Okay. Anyway.
Yep.
Thanks, Laz. Hey, Fluffy, great time tonight, man. That was a lot of fun. I always look forward when I know you're coming on the show. I always look forward to it. It makes my week, man. So thanks for coming on tonight. It was a lot of fun. Somebody said you had a podcast and a host and a Discord and some stuff going on. Is this true?
No.
Okay.
I don't do anything. So I'm half of Potato Thumbs podcast. The other half is Admiral Nips. Please reach out to him. He is in need of your human emotions.
You can deal with him next week, not me.
We do not sound as smart as I did tonight. It's kind of like tonight, but if you ran your head into the wall a few times. That's our show.
That's not true.
No, we have fun. And so we've been doing that for a while. We're on year 7 now. We have Potato Thumbs Discord, part of the Owl Sector. But honestly, everyone in this community just goes wherever people are. So you're always welcome. And you'll find me hanging out in all the other Discords too, because that's the awesome part of our community. I guess I'm streaming now. I started that up again tonight, and I had so much fun. It was the same vibe as podcasting, and then the fact that the all the homies from all around the Discord showed up today, that was super cool. Yeah, so I appreciate that. And so you'll probably see me out on Twitch more often now too, whether it's Destiny or Call of Duty or Cyberpunk or whatever I'm into at the time. But yeah, I like PvP. So if you like PvP, or maybe you want to get better at PvP, hit me up. I like playing games. As long as you're a nice, not salty, normal human being, we can probably get along.
And check out episode 14 if you want to hear Fluffy's full story. Back when we first was foolish enough to come on our podcast. Yeah.
I think that one might be okay, but there are definitely a few in there where where some drinks were thrown back throughout the show.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Dude,
yeah.
Always a great time.
If you haven't checked out his Discord, check it out. It's always a great time in there. And if you're not listening to Potato Thumbs podcast, what are you doing, man? So check that out. I'm just going to leave you with this. You can find me on X at Todd the Gator. Remember, that's 2 Ds, GATR. And if there's one place you want to check me out on YouTube, Todd the Gator. So there it is. I have the Destiny Help Desk podcast. Like I just said, I just had our PvP episode last week. I actually have another one coming very, very soon, maybe the next week. But then I have another really good one with a couple friends of mine going to be on again to talk to me about another topic in the Destinyverse, especially for the newer players. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to give away too much. But yeah, check that out as well. It's DestinyHelpDeskPodcast.com if you want to check out all the episodes there. You can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you find this podcast. You should be subscribing to the Destiny Help Desk. I mean, they go hand in hand. Remember, everyone, as you're playing Lightfall Season of the Wish, remember to take breaks. Get outside and touch some grass. Tilted Tim. Remember, we're Guardian Downcast, your stories, your community, your destiny. Be good to your fellow Guardians in the Destinyverse.
The weight of the world was on your shoulders, and still you triumphed. Marvelous.
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Yes.
Perfect. Love it. Like a pro. Like a pro. How many years have you been podcasting now?
Yeah, it's year 7.
7 years. Well, that's a good lucky Destiny number. Good deal, man.
Yeah, and somehow never missed an episode.
Really? No lost episodes?
I ended up doing an episode when we lost an episode.
Really?
Put out an episode. Never missed it, which is crazy.
I've lost a segment of a show, but I've never lost a show. I'm knocking on wood. I'm walking on my Vivo desk that you actually recommended. How was your PvP-ness? I can't believe you made me say that.